In the quiet hum of the Bahamas, where turquoise waves kiss the shores and palm trees sway like old friends whispering stories, there lives a world of tales older than time itself. These are stories that, for generations, have woven themselves into the lives of the Bahamian people, moving like a current through everyday life, passing from one generation to the next. Beneath the sandy beaches and crystal waters lies a hidden world of mythology, alive with creatures, spirits, and forces that both protect and haunt the islands. The Bahamas hold stories like treasured memories, tales born from whispers of ancestors who watched the sun sink into the sea and saw meaning in every shadow that stretched across the sand. The indigenous people of the Bahamas, Lucayan Taino, knew these secrets best. They were the first keepers of the island's mysteries, those who walked the land before the world outside ever learned of these shores. The Lucayans believed that their world was filled with life beyond what the eye could see. The trees, the waters, and the winds carried spirits, and these spirits were as much a part of life as the stars and the moon above them. For them, the world wasn't just seen and touched, it was felt. Among the legends that stirred the hearts of the Lucayan people were tales of Zimi, the powerful ancestral spirits. Zimi were not just protectors, they were guardians of the earth, the unseen keepers who shaped the world and watched over their people. To the Lucayans, Zimi could inhabit a rock or dwell in the winds, and when they spoke, it was wise to listen. They protected, but they could punish, too. When storms raged over the islands, the Lucayans believed it was the Zimi's way of calling out, reminding the people to show respect to the land and sea. In every carving and every mask, there lived a Zimi, a silent reminder that the world was alive, and that respect was its lifeblood. Yet, the Bahamian mythological landscape is not one solely defined by the Lucayans. As time went on, other cultures arrived, each bringing with them their own spirits, legends, and ways of understanding the unknown. The Bahamas became a crossroads, a meeting place where myths mingled, fused, and grew. From Africa came stories of tricksters and shapeshifters, wise animals and clever spirits who played in the shadows, teaching lessons of survival and cunning. These tales traveled across the Atlantic, surviving the brutal journeys endured by those who brought them, woven tightly into the spirits of enslaved Africans who found themselves on foreign shores but held fiercely to the stories that had fed their souls. Through the African influence, Bahamian mythology gained a vibrant, pulsing energy. Here were creatures who could dance in the forest at night, spirits who could take any form they pleased, and figures who taught people that even in darkness, there is light, that resilience is as sacred as the stars above. The African tales merged with the Lucayan stories, adding layers, colors, and voices. Now, not only were there Zimi in the trees, but also Jumbies lurking in the shadows, spirits with mischievous hearts who tested and tempted those brave enough to tread too closely. These Jumbies became familiar figures in Bahamian folklore, representing the unknown, sometimes playful, sometimes fearsome. With the arrival of European colonizers came yet another wave of stories. Colonial influence brought myths of mermaids and sea monsters, tales of sailors who swore they'd seen half-women, half-fish creatures singing songs that could lead men to their doom. The Bahamian people heard these tales, and in their own way, made them theirs. In the Bahamas, mermaids became the figures who both lured and watched over the fishermen. They were beautiful yet dangerous, symbols of the sea's alluring mysteries and warnings against venturing too far into unknown waters. As the cultures blended, the stories grew more complex, richer. Bahamian mythology became a living tapestry, a fusion of ancestral voices, colonial lore, and African endurance. And through it all, these myths spoke to the same truths: respect for nature, reverence for the unseen, and the courage to face what is feared. The people found comfort in these stories, guidance in their lessons, and courage in their characters. To this day, the myths live on in the voices of the Bahamian people. They are in the Chickcharney, the small, owl-like creature with twisted feathers, known to twist the fates of those who disrespect the forest. Locals tell stories of travelers who tried to harm these creatures, only to find themselves lost, trapped by twisted paths, and haunted by the Chickcharney's watchful eyes. But to those who are kind, who show respect, the Chickcharney is a friend, a quiet protector of the Bahamian forests. In the stories of the Luska, half-shark, half-octopus, there is another lesson. Lurking in underwater caves, the Luska is a guardian of the ocean's mysteries. It reminds those who fish and sail that the sea, while bountiful, is also fierce. Those who trespass on its territories without care might find themselves at the mercy of the Luska's wrath. These creatures are more than tales, they are guides, each reminding the people of the fine balance between nature and humanity. Generations continue to pass down these stories, keeping them alive in a world that moves faster than ever before. For the Bahamian people, these myths are more than echoes of the past. They are the heartbeat of the islands, reminders of respect, of strength, of resilience. To hear them is to feel the spirit of the Bahamas, to see the world not just as it is, but as it has always been, a place alive with magic, where every shadow tells a story, and every wave hums with the voices of ancestors. The people know that while the world has changed, the stories hold the same power, breathing life into the old places, casting a protective charm over the islands. Even as modern life rushes by, there is a part of every Bahamian that remembers, that carries these tales like precious gifts from those who came before. And just as they were told by the fireside, under starlit skies, these stories will be told again, from one heart to another, as long as the waves touch the shores. The Lucayan Taino people walked the sands of the Bahamas long before any other souls set foot on these islands. They were the original islanders, the ones who called this place home, who knew every stretch of land, every whisper of wind, and every song of the waves. For them, the Bahamas was not just a place to live, it was a world alive with spirits, each one as real as the sea that touched their shores. Every palm tree, every rushing wave, every breeze carried a story and a spirit, and to the Lucayan Taino, these were family. In their hearts, the Lucayan Taino held a belief that the world around them was brimming with life beyond what the eye could see. They felt the presence of spirits everywhere, and they respected and feared them in equal measure. These spirits, whom they called Zimi, were not just ghostly figures lurking in the shadows. They were powerful beings, protectors of nature, guardians of the Lucayan people, and intermediaries between the mortal world and the realms of the divine. The Zimi could be carved into wood or stone, taking on faces that revealed their personality. Some had gentle, watchful eyes, while others wore fierce expressions that warned against disrespect. To the Lucayans, Zimi were as sacred as life itself. They would carve these spirits into amulets, stones, and figures, carrying them like a promise, believing that these carved beings would keep them safe and guide them through life's storms. When a child was born, the family would place a small Zimi near them, a silent guardian who watched over their first steps and protected them from harm. When the storms rolled in and waves rose high against the shores, the people would turn to their Zimi, praying for protection, trusting that these spirits could calm even the angriest seas. But Zimi were not the only spirits the Lucayan Taino knew. There was another spirit they spoke of in whispers and respected with a quiet, solemn awe. This was the Boinail, the god of rain, who held life and death in his hands. Boinail wasn't just a bringer of gentle rains that nourished crops, he was a force who, when angered, could send down storms that would rip through the land and leave devastation in his wake. The people would offer prayers and gifts to Boinail, hoping to please him, hoping he would bless them with the rains they needed and spare them from the tempests they feared. And there was Makatori Guayaba, the ruler of Kobe, the land of the dead. For the Lucayan Taino, death was not an end but a passage to another existence in Kobe, where spirits resided and where ancestors watched over their living descendants. Makatori Guayaba was a quiet presence, respected but not feared, for he held the spirits of their loved ones. In the quiet of the night, some said they could feel the presence of their ancestors, watching, guiding, reminding them that they were never alone. One of the most beloved yet mysterious creatures in Lucayan mythology was Opial Goberan, a dog-like spirit who helped souls find their way to Kobe. Opial was said to guard the entrance to this realm, a loyal guide for those who had passed. The people would speak kindly of him, trusting that he would guide their loved ones gently and safely. There was a deep comfort in the thought of Opial, this faithful companion who walked the dark paths to ensure no spirit was lost. The Lucayan Taino lived their lives with these beliefs, each one a thread in the fabric of their daily existence. Their connection to these spirits was so strong that it shaped everything they did, the way they treated the land, the way they respected the sea, and the way they honored each other. When they fished, they asked permission from the spirits of the water. When they harvested crops, they thanked the earth and left offerings, a gift for the spirits who allowed the land to bear fruit. Their myths were not just tales, they were life itself, a reminder that every living thing, seen or unseen, had its place and its purpose. In the whisper of the wind, they heard the voices of their ancestors, and in the warmth of the sun, they felt the presence of the Zimi watching over them. These beliefs kept them grounded, connected to each other and to the world that held them. They saw no boundary between the spiritual and the physical, no separation between the sacred and the everyday. And so, the Lucayan Taino lived, surrounded by their spirits, guided by their Zimi, and comforted by the thought of Makatori Guayaba and Opio Goberan. For them, life and death, land and sea, past and present were all bound together, woven into one continuous song, sung by the wind and carried by the waves, forever entwined with the heart of the islands they called home. In the quiet of dawn, before the sun paints the sea with colors, there is a story that whispers through the wind and waves, an old story that tells how the Bahamas came to be. The Lucayan Taino, the first people of these islands, believed that their home was not just born from the earth but shaped by powerful forces, spirits, and creatures. To them, these islands were gifts from the gods, woven from the very fabric of mystery and magic. They say that long ago, before the Bahamas stretched across the ocean, there was only endless water, a world of waves that carried secrets within every current. Somewhere in this world of water, the great spirit Yaya ruled. Yaya was the giver of life, the force that watched over all things, and in his hands, he held the power to create, to shape life itself. It was Yaya who first thought to give shape to the waters, to bring life from the depths. But Yaya wasn't alone in the vastness. Beside him was Itaba, the Earth Mother, who could bring forth life from the very ground. Itaba held within her the strength to create not just land, but everything that walked, swam, or flew. They say it was her who molded the shape of the islands, raising them from beneath the waves, one by one, as a place for new life to flourish. And as each island rose, Itaba breathed her spirit into them, a part of herself forever resting in the sands and soil. As the land formed, the Lucayans believed, the gods saw that it was good but empty. And so, they created beings to inhabit this new world, to fill it with life and movement. First came the spirits of the wind and the water, gentle beings who moved with the tides and whispered through the palms. But Yaya knew that something was missing, something to watch over these spirits, to care for this creation and give it meaning. It was then that he called upon the Zimi, ancient spirits who were wise, powerful, and tied to the land itself. These Zimi were not like the spirits of the wind or sea, they were fierce and protective, with faces that held the strength of storms and the gentleness of morning light. Each Zimi took its place in the islands, guarding a part of the land, blessing it with their presence, and promising to protect it as long as the people respected their world. As the Zimi watched over the islands, Yaya turned to Itaba and spoke of a final creation, one that would walk on two legs, think, and feel. Together, they shaped the first humans from clay and breath, giving them hearts that would beat in rhythm with the sea and minds that would dream of stars. They placed these humans on the islands, blessing them with the gifts of the land and the waters, and a promise that if they lived with respect, the Zimi would watch over them. In the earliest days, the people lived close to the land, honoring the Zimi and offering thanks for every gift. But there were creatures, too, born from the depths of the gods' imaginations, beings who walked the edges of the islands, sometimes helping and sometimes challenging the people. Among these beings was the Chikcharni, a strange, bird-like creature with twisted feathers and watchful eyes. The Chikcharni was said to be both protector and trickster, one who could grant luck or misfortune. The Lucayans knew to respect it, for those who crossed the Chikcharni found themselves wandering lost, as if the land itself turned against them. Yet, to those who showed kindness, the Chikcharni was a friend, a quiet guardian who watched over the forests. In the water, another creature roamed, Luska, the half-shark, half-octopus spirit who ruled the depths and the caves. The Lucayans feared Luska, for they believed that it could sense disrespect in the waters and was known to punish those who took too much or went too far. The tales of Luska taught the people that even the ocean had its guardians, powerful and ancient, who demanded respect and balance. And so, the fishermen would offer small tokens to the sea, speaking words of thanks, hoping Luska would bless them and allow them safe passage. Through the sands, skies, and waters, the Bahamian creation stories filled the islands with life, not just of plants and animals, but of spirits and creatures, guardians and guides. For the Lucayans, each of these beings carried a lesson, each one teaching them how to live in harmony with the world around them. In every sunrise, they saw Yaya's light, and every harvest, they felt the blessing of Itaba Kawaba. The land was not just their home, it was a part of their story, a sacred place shaped by gods and creatures, and filled with promises that would last as long as the islands themselves. Even today, the wind and waves seem to carry these ancient tales. The land remembers the hands that shaped it, the spirits who walked it, and the people who first listened to its songs. These stories, as old as the islands, still echo in the hearts of those who call the Bahamas home, a timeless reminder that this place was born from wonder, watched over by guardians who linger in every shadow, every breeze, and every wave. In the heart of the Bahamian Islands, hidden in the breath of the wind, in the depths of the trees, and in the songs of the waves, live the Zimi, spirits older than memory, guardians who have watched over the land since the beginning of time. For the Lucayan Taino, the Zimi were sacred beings, woven into every part of life. They were not just spirits to be worshipped, but family, protectors, and guides, bound to the earth and to the people by something deeper than words. Each Zimi had a face, a unique presence. Some were gentle, with soft eyes and open hands, embodying the kindness of the earth. Others were fierce, faces carved with sharp features and stern expressions, their very gaze a reminder of the respect they demanded. Carved into stones, wood, and shells, the Zimi were made visible in physical form, each one a silent yet powerful presence that could be held close, a reminder of the spirits who guarded the land and its people. People kept their Zimi close, carrying small carvings or leaving them in places of honor within their homes, believing that these figures would keep them safe, healthy, and strong. One of the most cherished Zimi was Atabe, the mother spirit, the goddess of water, fertility, and the moon. Atabe's presence was everywhere, in the rivers, the rain, and the gentle pull of the tides. Mothers would tell their children stories of how Atabe held them from the moment they were born, how she blessed the land with water and watched over them with all the tenderness of a mother's love. To honor Atabe was to honor life itself. Women would offer flowers and shells by the water's edge, a simple thank you for the gift of life that she poured over the islands. They felt her in the touch of the waves against their feet, in the rains that fed the crops, and in the rhythm of the tides, a heartbeat that matched their own. Then there was Huracan, a fierce Zimi who commanded the winds and storms. Huracan was not a spirit to be angered, and the people respected his power as they did the stormy seas he ruled. When the clouds darkened and winds whipped the trees, the people would whisper prayers, asking Huracan to spare their homes and families. For the Lucayans, the fury of a storm was not a random event, it was the will of Huracan, a force that demanded respect, reminding the people of their place within the natural world. In each strike of lightning and each gust of wind, they felt his presence, a powerful warning that nature could both nurture and destroy. Yukahu, the Zimi of Cassava, was another beloved spirit, known as the Sustainer, the one who blessed the people with food. Cassava was their staple, the heart of their meals, and Yukahu was the spirit who ensured its growth. Farmers would place small Zimi figures in their fields, carved with the face of Yukahu, offering prayers as they planted and harvested. They believed that as long as they respected the earth and honored Yukahu, their crops would flourish, providing enough to feed the village and keep their families healthy. To them, Yukahu wasn't just a spirit, he was a friend, one who fed them, who knew their hunger and answered it with kindness. And then there was Opial Goberan, a mysterious Zimi who took the form of a dog. Opial was not just any spirit, he was the guide for those who passed from this world to the next. People spoke of Opial with both sadness and reverence, trusting that he would safely lead their loved ones to Kobe, the land of the dead. When someone passed, families would light small fires or place flowers, whispering words to Opiel, asking him to watch over their loved ones and to guide them with care. Children grew up hearing that Opiel was a loyal spirit, one who knew the paths of life and death and ensured that no soul was left wandering. In his eyes, they saw compassion, a steady presence in the unknown. Every Zimi held a role, a responsibility that bound them to the people as much as it bound them to the earth. The Lucayan people lived their lives with the Zimi beside them, trusting them in times of joy and calling on them in times of fear. Even in the smallest acts, they honored these spirits, placing a small stone by a tree, speaking words of gratitude to the wind, leaving offerings near the sea. It was through these gestures that they kept the bond alive, a quiet understanding that as long as they respected the Zimi, the spirits would guard and guide them. To the Lucayans, the Zimi were not just gods to be worshipped, they were part of the family. They were in the laughter shared around a meal, the strength of the crops that fed them, the storm that shook their homes, and the gentle rains that softened the earth. With each passing season, the Zimi were there, a silent promise that the land and its people were bound together, forever woven into the spirit of the islands. Today, in the whisper of the wind and the sway of the sea, one might still feel the presence of the Zimi, ancient spirits who have guarded these shores for centuries, standing watch over a people who honored them, who loved them, and who knew that the land itself was alive with the souls of the past. In the Bahamian Islands, where the sun dips into the sea with a golden warmth and the stars feel closer than anywhere else, there were those who held a unique place between the world of the living and the spirits. These were the caciques, the chiefs, whose role was more than just leading their people. They were guardians, chosen by both the community and the spirits themselves. A cacique wasn't simply a leader, they were a bridge, a voice between realms, carrying messages from the spirit world and guiding their people with wisdom drawn from beyond. For the Lucayan Taino, the cacique was trusted with a responsibility that reached far beyond everyday life. They were the ones who could sense the Zimi, the spirits of the earth, water, and sky. They listened to their whispers in the rustle of leaves, felt their presence in the pull of the tides, and recognized their warnings in the winds that swept across the land. People would look to the cacique to interpret the will of these powerful spirits, to tell them when it was safe to fish, when to plant, when to prepare for storms. It was said that a true cacique could feel the heartbeat of the land itself, a steady pulse that connected them to something eternal, a rhythm that never ceased. When the island winds grew quiet and night fell, it was often the cacique who would lead ceremonies honoring the spirits. They would gather their people around a fire, each face bathed in the glow, shadows dancing in the flickering light. With songs and offerings, the cacique would call upon the spirits, giving thanks for the land's gifts, seeking blessings, and sometimes pleading for protection. It was in these sacred moments that the cacique could feel the presence of the Zimi most powerfully, as if the spirits themselves were sitting among the people, watching, listening, their energy a part of the night air. The cacique's role was not without sacrifice, for their connection to the spirit world often came with burdens that others could only begin to understand. There were stories of caciques who bore the weight of the island's grief, who felt the sorrow of every life lost, every failed crop, every storm that left destruction in its wake. They would carry these sorrows quietly, turning to the Zimi for guidance, seeking comfort in the spirits who had watched over their people for generations. When a villager fell ill, it was the cacique who would call upon the healing spirits, asking them to lend their strength, to touch the ailing with a gentle hand and return them to health. One of the most mysterious duties of a cacique was their interaction with Opiel Goberan, the dog spirit who guided souls to the afterlife. When someone passed from the world of the living, the cacique would pray to Opiel, asking him to come forth and lead the departed to Kobe, the spirit world. They trusted Opiel to be gentle with their loved ones, to show them kindness on their journey. It was said that the cacique could see him at times, a shadow in the night, a watchful figure at the edge of dreams. And while others feared the unknown of Kobe, the cacique would feel a bittersweet comfort, knowing that the spirit world was a place of peace and reunion. There were also tales of the cacique's encounters with mythical creatures that most people only heard about in hushed stories. Among these beings was the Chikcharni, a bird-like creature said to be as old as the islands themselves. The cacique respected the Chikcharni deeply, for it was both guardian and test, a creature who could bring luck or misfortune. If the cacique crossed paths with the Chicharni, they knew to treat it with reverence, offering a few soft words or leaving a small token. It was believed that the Chicharni would watch over those it trusted, but for those who showed disrespect, it could twist the forest paths, turning a simple journey into a maze of confusion. The most respected caciques were known to have rare dreams, visions that took them to places beyond the waking world, where they could see the spirits as clearly as they saw their own reflection. In these dreams, they walked through forests alive with Zimi, felt the warmth of Atabe's embrace, and heard the booming voice of Huracan as he warned of approaching storms. When a cacique awoke from such a dream, they would gather their people and share the vision, translating the message from the spirits into words the community could understand. These dreams were seen as blessings, a sign that the spirits had chosen the cacique as their voice, a person through whom the very essence of the islands could speak. Throughout their lives, caciques carried this honor, this connection, with every step. When they walked the shores at dawn, they would listen to the waves, hoping for a whisper from Yaya or a feeling of calm from Atabe. When they walked through the villages, they would silently bless each person, hoping to share the spirit's protection and care. And when they grew old, nearing the time when they would join their ancestors in Kobe, they would pass their wisdom to the next chosen one, the next cacique, ensuring that the bridge between the worlds remained strong. For as long as there were caciques, there was faith, a faith that even in the darkest of times, the spirits would be there, guiding, protecting, and listening through the voice of their chosen guardian. In the blue shadows of the Bahamian waters, there's a story that clings to every ripple, a story that sends chills through even the bravest hearts. It's the legend of the Luska, a creature feared by fishermen, whispered about by divers, and respected by everyone who dares venture near its domain. They say the Luska is half shark, half octopus, an impossible blend of strength and stealth, lurking in the caverns and blue holes that cut deep into the islands. Its very name brings an eerie silence, as if the ocean itself shudders at the thought of it. According to the old legends, the Luska waits in the submerged caves, hidden from sight, but always watching. Those who have caught a glimpse describe something terrifying: the sleek, pointed head of a shark, eyes dark and endless, fused to a body that stretches and coils with thick, sinewy tentacles. Each tentacle moves with silent purpose, strong enough to crush coral, with suckers that can latch onto anything and refuse to let go. Fishermen say that the Luska's arms are like shadows, reaching out from the depths, and when it finds prey, there is no chance of escape. People say that the Luska was born from the mysteries of the ocean itself, a guardian or perhaps a warning to those who take too much or stray too far. In the quiet hours of dusk, the older generations still share stories of how their ancestors respected the boundaries of the sea, offering gifts to the water and keeping their distance from the dangerous blue holes. They believed that the Luska was more than just a creature, it was a spirit, a force of nature meant to keep balance between the sea and those who lived upon its shores. For the Lucayans, these blue holes were sacred places, doorways into the unknown. They spoke of the Luska with both fear and respect, knowing that the ocean kept secrets not meant for human eyes. It was said that the Luska could change the tides, pulling the water with such force that anything caught in its grasp would be swept away in moments. Stories spread of fishermen who had gone out to sea, never to return, their boats found days later, overturned or mysteriously empty, their nets left floating like ghostly memories of lives lost. In modern times, sightings of the Luska persist, and its legend grows with each tale. Divers and explorers, drawn by the allure of the Bahamas' underwater caves, have shared chilling encounters. They speak of strange currents that pull them downward, of shadows darting just beyond the light, and of moments when the water grows cold and still, as if something is waiting. Some divers have sworn they saw enormous, tentacled limbs unfurling from the darkness, curling back before vanishing into the depths, leaving only the echo of fear and the humbling reminder that there are creatures in this world that defy explanation. There was a story once, told by a diver who came face to face with something he could hardly describe. He was exploring one of the blue holes when he felt an overwhelming force pull him back. Struggling against the current, he looked down and saw, beneath him, an enormous eye, cold and unblinking, staring up at him. Around it, tentacles began to rise, slowly stretching toward him. In a flash of terror, he turned, pushing himself upward with all his strength. When he finally surfaced, gasping for air, he could still feel the weight of that gaze, and he knew that whatever he had seen was real. After that day, he never returned to the water. The legend of the Luska isn't just a tale to keep people away from the blue holes, it's a warning, a reminder that the ocean holds powers beyond human control. Those who have seen strange whirlpools suddenly form above the blue holes speak in hushed tones, as if afraid that the Luska can hear them. They say the water churns as if alive, pulling everything into a swirling abyss, and in those moments, it's as though the Luska is reaching out, reminding the world that the depths are its home. The Bahamian people have grown up with these stories, passing them from one generation to the next, each tale told with reverence and caution. Children hear them at bedtime, a reminder to respect the waters, to never venture alone to the blue holes, and to always remember that there are forces in the world beyond human understanding. The Luska has become part of the island's cultural heartbeat, its legend woven into the identity of the Bahamas itself. Fishermen offer quiet prayers, touching the water before setting out, and locals avoid the blue holes at certain times, especially when the moon is full, believing that the Luska stirs most powerfully under its light. In the end, the Luska remains a mystery, a creature of legends and whispered warnings, a guardian and a ghost. And whether it's real or just a creation of fearful minds, it doesn't matter. To the people of the Bahamas, Luska is alive in every wave that crashes against the shore, every shadow that moves beneath the surface, and every silent current that pulls at their feet. Its presence lingers, a reminder of the ocean's unyielding power and the respect it demands. And for those who listen closely, it's said that on quiet nights, if you stand at the edge of the water, you might feel it too, a quiet, steady pulse from the depths, like a heartbeat, as old as the sea itself. There are tales whispered across the Caribbean of a creature so vast and terrifying that even the most seasoned sailors fear to speak its name. Known as the Kraken of the Caribbean, this legendary beast is said to dwell in the darkest depths of the ocean, a shadow lurking just below the surface, waiting for an unwitting ship to cross its path. Many have described it as an enormous, tentacled monster, with arms that could stretch the length of a ship's hull and eyes as wide as portholes. To see the Kraken is to face a force of nature itself, something ancient, powerful, and merciless. The old seafarers believed that the Kraken was not just a myth, but a very real danger. Captains would chart their courses carefully, avoiding areas where the sea was known to churn violently without reason, the telltale sign of the Kraken beneath. They spoke of times when the sea would grow strangely calm, as if holding its breath, just before an explosion of movement would send waves crashing against their ships. In those moments, sailors swore they could see monstrous tentacles rising from the depths, reaching for their vessel with an unstoppable hunger. Once, in the early 18th century, a ship called the Sea Dragon set sail from the Caribbean islands, carrying a crew of brave sailors and a hold full of spices. They were halfway through their journey when the wind suddenly died, leaving the ship adrift in an eerie silence. The men scanned the waters anxiously, but there was nothing to see, just an endless, empty horizon. Then, without warning, the water began to bubble and froth, as if something enormous was stirring beneath. The crew barely had time to react before an enormous, slimy tentacle shot up from the depths, wrapping itself around the hull and pulling the ship down with impossible force. Those who survived spoke of an eye the size of a man, staring at them from the depths, an eye that seemed to see through their very souls. The Kraken was not just a Caribbean tale. Sailors from all over the world brought stories of sea monsters lurking in the waters. In the cold, gray seas of Norway, fishermen told of a similar beast, calling it the Kraken, a monster so large that it could be mistaken for an island from a distance. Across the oceans, people spoke of the same creature under different names, from the Akorokamwi in Japan to the Luska of the Bahamas. The legends all had the same chilling details: tentacles strong enough to snap a ship in two, eyes that glowed in the darkness, and a hunger that was never satisfied. Some believe that these stories came from real encounters with colossal squids, creatures rarely seen by human eyes, but occasionally found washed up on shores with bodies stretching over 30 feet long. But the Kraken legend goes beyond any earthly creature. It's a story of something larger, more terrifying, something that carries the weight of 1,000 shipwrecks in its shadow. Throughout history, there have been sightings that keep the legend alive. In the 1940s, a British naval ship reported an enormous creature off the coast of the Bahamas. The crew described seeing tentacles rise above the water, each one thicker than a tree trunk, moving with a slow, deadly grace. They claimed the creature looked as if it could drag their ship to the depths with little effort. The account was quickly dismissed as the product of fear and overactive imaginations, but the crew swore it was real, refusing to return to that stretch of sea. The Kraken legend has haunted the Caribbean for centuries, weaving its way into the minds of those who call these waters home. For the islanders, the Kraken is a story of the ocean's unforgiving power, a reminder that there are forces in the world beyond human understanding. Sailors offer small tokens to the sea, a coin tossed overboard or a whispered prayer, hoping to appease the creature that waits below. To speak of the Kraken is to acknowledge that the sea holds mysteries that will never be fully understood, mysteries that can reach out and claim those who forget their place in the world. Some believe the Kraken is a spirit, a guardian of the ocean's depths, and that its appearances are warnings, messages from the sea to respect its power. Others see it as a curse, a creature of darkness that only brings terror and destruction. But whether guardian or curse, the Kraken of the Caribbean remains one of the most feared legends of the sea, a story that continues to haunt those who venture into the unknown, reminding them that sometimes the ocean itself seems to watch and wait. When the moonlight dances over the Bahamian waters and the stars watch quietly from above, the islanders know to stay cautious. For in those still, quiet hours, stories say the Jumbies come alive. Jumbies are not simply spirits, but eerie, restless beings that linger between worlds, often drawn to the sea and the lives of those who dare to cross its path. Fishermen who venture out late, knowing these stories, speak of feeling a presence they can't explain, something unseen, yet close, as if the very air around them has grown heavier. To them, the Jumbies are real, and their encounters serve as haunting reminders of the forces that watch from the shadows. Jumbies are said to take many forms, never appearing the same way twice. Some describe them as shadowy figures with eyes that pierce through the night, glinting like a distant flame. Others claim to have seen them as vague, ghostly shapes drifting just above the waves, barely visible in the moonlight, but enough to send a chill down the spine. At times, they are felt more than seen, like a sudden, unexplainable cold that makes the skin prickle, or a whisper carried by the wind, soft but unnerving, as if calling out to the living. But the Jumbies are not just apparitions, they have purpose, a kind of restlessness that drives them to seek out those who dare to enter their domain unprepared. The stories that fishermen tell of these spirits are filled with both fear and respect. One old sailor, grizzled and wise, once shared a story of his encounter. He was out at sea in the early hours before dawn, pulling in his nets when he felt the temperature drop sharply around him. The air became so cold that his breath misted before him, something unheard of in the warm Caribbean night. He looked around, searching for some sign, and that's when he saw it, a faint shape floating just at the edge of the boat, barely touching the water. It was as if the spirit had come to inspect him, watching with silent, unseen eyes. Frozen in place, he murmured a prayer, refusing to look directly at it, and after a tense moment, the coldness vanished. He later said that it was the Jumbies' way of showing disapproval, as if warning him to take greater care of the sea he worked on. There's a tale told across the islands of Jumbies luring fishermen out to sea. It starts with an inexplicable light shimmering far in the distance, brighter than a lantern but moving slowly, beckoning them closer. A fisherman might feel his hands move almost on their own, steering the boat toward the light without knowing why. The closer he gets, the fainter the light becomes, until he is left alone in the vast ocean, surrounded by darkness and an empty silence. Some say the Jumbies play tricks, leading sailors astray for their amusement, while others believe the lights are a warning to those who have shown disrespect to the sea. Another story is shared among younger fishermen, a warning from their elders. It tells of a night when a man was fishing by himself, ignoring the signs, the heavy mist, the strange stillness of the water. In the middle of casting his line, he felt something brush against his arm. Turning around, he found himself face to face with what could only be a Jumbie, its face pale and expressionless, its eyes hollow but somehow filled with sorrow. Unable to move, he stood there, watching as the Jumbie slowly faded away, leaving him shaken to the core. When he returned to shore, he spoke of the sadness he had felt emanating from the spirit, as though it carried the weight of lives lost to the sea. Ever since that night, he has never gone out alone, knowing that once a Jumbie has marked you, it's something you never truly escape. Older islanders often say that Jumbies are spirits who were once people, perhaps sailors who perished at sea or souls unable to find peace. They believe that these spirits linger near the water, reliving their final moments, restless and drawn to those who live their lives at the mercy of the waves. To them, Jumbies are both a warning and a reminder of the lives lost in the ocean's embrace. There are rituals that some follow before they set out, small tokens left at the shore, quiet prayers murmured under the breath. They ask for safe passage, a respectful acknowledgement that they are only visitors in the Jumbies' world. And while Jumbies are mostly feared, there are stories of fishermen who were saved by these spirits. One night, a young man went out alone despite his mother's warnings. The weather was calm, but as he reached the deeper waters, a fierce storm began to brew. Waves rose like mountains, and his small boat was tossed mercilessly. Just as he was about to give in, feeling his strength waning, he saw a figure beside him, a pale shape with a gentle glow, guiding him back to shore through the storm. When he finally stumbled onto the sand, exhausted but alive, he looked back to the water and swore he saw a faint, misty form disappearing into the waves. From that day on, he always left a small gift by the shore, knowing that a Jumbie had spared him that night. Each encounter with a Jumbie leaves its mark, a memory that lingers long after the encounter has passed. For those who know the sea stories, the Jumbie is more than a ghost. It's a protector, a reminder, a soul bound to the water's depths, forever watching. Whether they come as guides, warnings, or silent shadows, the Jumbies are woven into the spirit of the islands. The fishermen honor them in their own ways, with reverence, with caution, and with the knowledge that the sea is as much theirs as it is ours. And in the quiet moments before dawn, when the water is still and the world holds its breath, the Jumbies remain, a presence felt but unseen, a piece of the ocean's soul, forever tied to the lives that depend on it. On dark, misty nights when the coast is veiled in shadows and the waves break softly along the shore, whispers of the wreck are shared in hushed voices. No one knows exactly what it is, but every islander knows its name and fears the touch of its cold, slender fingers. The wreck is no ordinary spirit. Those who claim to have seen it describe a figure lurking on the edge of the water, its form thin and gaunt, moving with an unnatural grace that chills the bone. Eyes as dark as the sea, hollow and fixed, seem to look right through a person, as if it knows the deepest fears they carry within. For those who fish near the coast, the wreck is both a legend and a warning. They say that on certain nights, when the sea is restless and the air feels thick, the wreck walks along the shoreline, hunting for something unseen. The old fishermen tell tales of feeling an invisible presence trailing them back to shore, like a shadow that refuses to be left behind. They say it watches them, moving with the quietness of mist, its gaze sharp and unyielding. Once, a man named Elias was fishing late into the night, ignoring his wife's pleas to return home before darkness settled in. As he pulled his nets, he felt an eerie silence fall over him. Suddenly, from the corner of his eye, he saw a thin, skeletal figure crouched on the rocks, staring at him with eyes that seemed to glint with some dark knowing. Frozen with fear, Elias could only watch as the creature slinked closer before vanishing into the mist as silently as it had appeared. After that night, Elias never fished alone. Yet, the wreck is not the only spirit that stirs fear along these shores. The people speak of other sea spirits, eerie and unpredictable, each one holding its own strange purpose. There are those who tell of the mourner, a figure that appears on stormy nights, wailing over the ocean's roar. They say her cries can be heard from miles away, a sound that pierces the heart and fills it with an inexplicable sorrow. She walks the beach, a pale, shrouded form, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of grief. The mourner is said to be the spirit of a young woman who lost her love to the sea, doomed to search for him forever along the shores. People say that hearing her wails brings misfortune, a reminder of the lives the ocean has taken. And while no one claims to have seen her up close, they say her voice is unmistakable, a haunting lament that echoes long after the storm has passed. Each of these spirits has a story that lives in the hearts of the coastal communities, teaching respect for the sea and the unseen forces that dwell within it. To the islanders, these beings are not mere ghost stories, but part of the ocean's living memory, souls tethered to the water, forever bound to the places they once knew. Families pass down these tales to remind their children of the ocean's dangers, teaching them to tread carefully and respect the spirits who guard the coast. These stories tell of the rake's cold gaze, the mourner's sorrowful cries, and the countless other beings that linger in the shadows, watching, waiting, haunting. Among the fishermen, there is also talk of the wanderer, a spirit said to be the soul of a sailor lost at sea. They say he can be seen pacing the shore at dawn, his eyes fixed on the horizon, as if searching for the ship that will bring him home. The wanderer, unlike the rake or the mourner, brings a kind of sadness that is less frightening and more tragic. People say that if you look closely enough, you can see the longing in his eyes, the hope that perhaps, one day, he will find peace. To see him is to feel the weight of a love that never gave up, even in death. Some say he appears to those in mourning, a quiet comfort, as if to remind them that they are not alone in their loss. The rake and the other sea spirits hold a unique place in the lives of those who live by the coast. They are reminders of the mysteries that the ocean guards, of the lives claimed by its depths, and of the invisible world that lies just beyond human sight. The coastal communities live in quiet respect of these beings, sharing their stories with reverence, knowing that to speak of them is to invite a presence, a brush with something that is beyond understanding. These spirits are woven into the life of the islands, part of an unbroken chain of memory and myth, a connection between the living and the lost. And so, the people continue their lives, casting their nets, mending their boats, and caring for their loved ones. But in the quiet hours before dawn, they are careful. They keep their voices low, their lights dim, and they move with the weight of knowing they are not alone. Because somewhere, hidden in the mist, the rake and the mourner, the wanderer and others, linger by the shore, bound forever to the tides and the endless call of the sea. In the thick, quiet heart of Andros Island, where the air is rich with the scent of pine and the trees stand tall and timeless, islanders know that every shadow and whisper could mean a chickcharney is near. The chickcharney isn't just another animal hidden in the forest depths, it is a spirit, an ancient guardian that watches over its home with fierce loyalty. Anyone who enters the dense forest feels it, a presence, something unseen yet alive, quietly observing. With piercing eyes and a posture both human-like and bird-like, the chickcharney is more than just a creature, it's a protector, a warning, and, for some, a blessing. Old stories describe the chickcharney as a small but striking figure, around 3 feet tall, with twisted feathers, enormous talon-like feet, and a face that holds both wisdom and mystery. Those who see it say it appears from nowhere, as if the forest itself has created it. Sometimes, its head tilts with a curious look, other times with a solemn glare that leaves a person wondering if they're truly welcome. And its eyes, large, dark, and deep, are like windows to something far older than anyone could fathom, eyes that seem to see beyond the surface, right into a person's intentions. It's said that the chickcharney has the power to bring both fortune and misfortune. People who cross its path respectfully, offering a quiet greeting or leaving a small token, often find good luck following them for days. Some say they've returned from the forest with rare herbs or unexpectedly rich fishing hauls, gifts from the chickcharney itself. Those who have encountered it with an open heart feel a sort of kinship, an understanding that their respect has been noted and returned. For them, the chickcharney becomes a kind of silent protector, a spirit that watches over them, even if from afar. But the chickcharney is not forgiving to those who come with disrespect. The islanders warn that to disturb the chickcharney's home or treat it with disregard is to risk a terrible misfortune. Many tales are told of those who ignored the old ways, who laughed at the stories or carelessly trampled through the forest. One man, new to the island, cut down a tall tree for firewood without a second thought. The very next day, his boat sank mysteriously, and he lost nearly everything he owned. To the locals, there was no mystery at all. They knew it was the chickcharney's way of ensuring its forest stayed safe. The children of Andros grow up hearing the tales, learning early on that the chickcharney's forest is a sacred place. For them, the Chickcharney becomes a figure of both wonder and fear, a mysterious guardian who could appear at any moment. Parents tell them to treat the forest with care, to walk softly, and to always leave a small token if they go looking for berries or wood. A simple pebble, a flower, or even a whispered word of thanks is enough. These gestures remind them that the forest is alive and that, if they are respectful, the Chickcharney will protect them, too. There's an old tale of a boy named Malik who wandered into the forest late one evening. Malik had been warned about the Chickcharney all his life, but on that day, curiosity got the better of him. He thought if he could catch a glimpse of the creature, he'd have something to boast about. Deeper and deeper he walked, until the forest grew eerily silent, the kind of quiet that seems to press on the ears. And then he felt it, a gaze, heavy and intense, coming from somewhere above. Malik looked up and saw it perched in the branches, the Chickcharney, watching him with those deep, knowing eyes. Terrified, Malik remembered his mother's words, and he whispered an apology, placing a small stone on the ground as an offering. In that instant, the Chickcharney blinked, as if accepting his gesture, and without a sound, it disappeared into the leaves. Malik returned home, shaken but unharmed, forever respectful of the creature that had spared him. The Chickcharney is more than just a part of Bahamian folklore, it embodies the spirit of the land itself, a reminder of the ancient bond between people and nature. For generations, the islanders have seen it as a symbol of wisdom and caution, a being that guards its forest with fierce loyalty, allowing only those who respect its boundaries to pass safely. And while its powers remain a mystery, its role is clear: it keeps balance in the wild, protecting both its home and the people who understand its place. Through the Chickcharney, the people of Andros have learned to live in harmony with the land, to walk gently, and to understand that there are forces in the world that demand respect. Forces that have watched over these forests long before any person set foot on them. The Chickcharney stands as a guardian, ancient and timeless, a part of the forest's very soul, reminding all who venture into its world that they are visitors in a place of wonder, a place protected by the unseen but ever-present spirit of the Chickcharney. On quiet evenings, when the sun dips low and the sky turns to hues of orange and purple, tales of mysterious creatures often stir the imagination of those near the waters. In both the Bahamas and Australia, ancient stories paint vivid pictures of land-based water spirits, creatures that evoke both fear and fascination. One such spirit, the bunyip, holds a place of reverence in Australian folklore, much like the spirits that dance through the Caribbean waters. This connection between cultures, woven together by myths and shared beliefs, reveals how two distant lands can tell similar tales of caution, reverence, and wonder. The bunyip, with its haunting presence, is said to inhabit swamps, rivers, and billabongs throughout Australia. Descriptions vary wildly, with some claiming it has the body of a giant dog, a long neck, and a head resembling a crocodile, while others insist it looks more like a seal or a large fish. Its terrifying roar is enough to send shivers down the spine, echoing through the quiet nights and striking fear into the hearts of those who dare approach its watery domain. Locals share stories of people who ventured too close to the water, only to disappear without a trace, leaving behind nothing but whispers of a dark fate. This echoes tales from the Bahamas, where spirits like the Luska guard the underwater depths with a similar fierce protectiveness. The Luska, a creature that is half shark and half octopus, is known for its powerful, swirling movements in the deep blue, often dragging unsuspecting fishermen into the dark, cold waters. The Luska, like the bunyip, embodies the fears of those who dare to challenge the unknown, warning of the dangers that lurk just beneath the surface. In both tales, the creatures serve as guardians of their realms, demanding respect and caution from anyone who wishes to approach their territory. Children in both cultures grow up hearing these stories, often with a mix of fear and excitement. In the Australian bush, parents warn their children not to wander too close to the water's edge at night, lest they attract the attention of the bunyip. They might speak of a night when a child didn't listen and was never seen again, teaching lessons of respect for nature and its hidden mysteries. Similarly, Bahamian children hear about the Luska and learn to avoid dark waters, to heed the warnings of elders about creatures that dwell in the depths, ready to defend their territory fiercely. These stories, passed down through generations, serve not just to entertain but to instill a deep respect for the power of nature. The connection between the Bunyip and Bahamian water spirits goes beyond mere physical descriptions. It reveals a shared understanding of the relationship between humans and the natural world. Both cultures recognize the importance of water as a life-giving force, but also as a domain filled with unseen dangers. The Bunyip and the Lusca symbolize the wild, untamed aspects of nature that can be both nurturing and destructive. They remind us that the beauty of the landscape can hide threats that must be respected. These mythical beings also embody the emotions that arise from our fears of the dark and the unknown. In both cultures, the Bunyip and Lusca tap into the deep-seated anxieties of communities living on the edges of water. The stories offer a way for people to confront these fears, turning them into cautionary tales that bond families and friends. Around flickering fires or quiet family dinners, tales of the Bunyip's roar or the Lusca's grip are told with reverence, creating a shared emotional experience that transcends generations. Both the Bunyip and the Lusca serve as reminders of the stories that shape cultural identities, creating connections between people and their environment. The legends surrounding these creatures highlight how deeply rooted beliefs influence daily life. In the Bahamas, fishing practices are often guided by stories of the Lusca. Fishermen respect certain areas, knowing the tales of those who have disappeared. In Australia, the Bunyip shapes how communities engage with their rivers and swamps, influencing land use and recreational activities. As the sun sets and the stars blanket the sky, the connection between the Bahamian and Australian myths becomes clearer. These stories remind us of our shared humanity, the fears we all face, and the respect we owe to the natural world. They offer a sense of belonging and continuity, tying together communities across oceans with threads of ancient wisdom and caution. In the end, the tales of the Bunyip and the Lusca are not just stories of frightening creatures lurking in the shadows. They are reflections of our collective consciousness, echoing the fears and hopes of generations. They remind us that we are not alone in our experiences, and that in every culture, there exists a deep understanding of the beauty and danger that nature holds. Each tale, whether whispered in the dark of the Australian bush or shared on a Bahamian beach, weaves a rich tapestry of shared beliefs, ensuring that the spirit of the Bunyip and the Lusca will live on in the hearts of those who listen. In the quiet whispers of the Bahamian night, there exists a legend that sends shivers down the spine of those who dare to listen. It is the tale of the Devil's Horse, a creature so mesmerizing and terrifying that it straddles the line between beauty and danger. Imagine a majestic horse, its coat shimmering like the stars above, but with a twisted horn jetting from its forehead, catching the moonlight with an eerie glow. This beast is not just a figment of imagination, it is woven into the very fabric of Bahamian folklore, carrying with it deep meanings and cultural significance. The Devil's Horse is said to inhabit the lush, wild areas of the islands, roaming through dense mangroves and tall grass, where only the bravest of souls dare to tread. Those who claim to have seen it describe its movements as graceful yet powerful, a striking contrast to the eerie aura that surrounds it. Some say it is a spirit of the forest, a guardian of the wild, while others believe it represents something far darker, a warning of the dangers that lie within the shadows. The mere mention of the Devil's Horse can evoke fear and awe in the hearts of islanders, for it symbolizes the duality of nature, beautiful yet ferocious. For generations, families have shared stories around flickering bonfires, their voices trembling as they recount encounters with the Devil's Horse. One such tale tells of a young girl named Aaliyah, who ventured too far into the woods, enchanted by the glowing lights that danced between the trees. Drawn by a mysterious force, she found herself face to face with the Devil's Horse. Her heart raced as she gazed into its eyes, which shone like polished obsidian. In that moment, Aaliyah understood that she was standing before a creature of immense power, a being that demanded respect and caution. Instead of fleeing in fear, Aaliyah reached out her hand, feeling a connection that transcended words. The Devil's Horse, sensing her pure heart, calmed and lowered its head. It was a moment of breathtaking beauty, where the line between human and spirit blurred. From that day forward, Aaliyah became the storyteller of her village, sharing her encounter as a reminder that even the most fearsome creatures could reveal a softer side when approached with kindness. The devil's horse serves as a powerful symbol within Bahamian culture. It embodies the spirit of resilience, representing the struggles of island life, where beauty and danger coexist in an intricate dance. The creature's very existence reflects the trials faced by the people of the Bahamas: harsh storms, unpredictable seas, and the ever-present challenge of survival. Yet, amid these struggles, the legend of the devil's horse reminds islanders to find strength in vulnerability and to recognize the beauty in even the most daunting experiences. Moreover, the devil's horse is often seen as a guardian of the environment. The islanders believe that the creature watches over the land, protecting the delicate balance of nature. It represents a call to respect the earth, to cherish the resources it provides, and to honor the spirits that inhabit it. Those who embrace the legend are reminded of their responsibility to the environment, fostering a connection between the people and their land that is deeply rooted in respect and stewardship. In art and storytelling, the devil's horse has become an emblem of cultural pride. Local artists create vibrant paintings depicting the creature, capturing its elegance and the mystique that surrounds it. These artworks serve not only as a means of expression but also as a way to pass down the stories of the devil's horse to future generations. Children listen wide-eyed as their grandparents recount tales of bravery, respect, and the magic of the natural world. The legend transforms into a thread that weaves families together, connecting them to their ancestors and to the land they call home. The significance of the devil's horse goes beyond mere storytelling. It is a cultural touchstone that evokes emotions tied to identity, tradition, and nature. As the sun sets and the stars emerge, the islanders gather to share their tales, feeling the warmth of the fire and the cool breeze of the night. In these moments, they remember the lessons imparted by the devil's horse, of courage in the face of fear, of respect for the unknown, and of the bond between humanity and the wild. The legend also serves as a cautionary tale. Many believe that if one disregards the presence of the devil's horse or treats the natural world with disrespect, they will face dire consequences. This belief instills a sense of humility among the islanders, reminding them that they are part of a larger ecosystem, one where every action has a ripple effect. The creature becomes a protector of the land, urging its people to tread lightly and live harmoniously with nature. As whispers of the devil's horse echo through the islands, they remind everyone of the delicate balance between beauty and danger, between freedom and restraint. It is a legend that brings forth both fear and fascination, a symbol of the untamed spirit of the Bahamas. The stories are more than just tales. They carry with them the heartbeats of generations, preserving the wisdom of the past and guiding the steps of the future. In the end, the devil's horse stands as a powerful figure in Bahamian folklore, embodying the complexities of nature and the strength of human connection to it. It reminds the islanders that while the world may hold fearsome mysteries, there is also beauty to be found in embracing the unknown. As long as the legend lives on, so too will the spirit of the devil's horse, inspiring awe, respect, and love for the land and its stories. In the heart of the Bahamas, where the sun kisses the ocean and the breeze carries whispers of ancient stories, lies a treasure trove of lesser-known mythical creatures that roam the land. These enigmatic beings, often hidden in the shadows of more famous legends, hold deep meanings for the islanders, weaving together the fabric of their culture with threads of mystery and wonder. Each island boasts its own unique tales, sharing the characteristics and quirks of these creatures that have enchanted generations. One such creature is the chickcharney, a small, owl-like being believed to inhabit the thick forests and bushes of the islands. With its big, bright eyes and long, spindly legs, the chickcharney has an appearance that could easily be mistaken for cute, yet it is known to possess a mischievous spirit. Islanders often say that encountering a chickcharney brings both luck and mischief. Many stories describe how this creature plays pranks on unsuspecting villagers, leading them into the woods only to have them end up back where they started, confused but laughing at their own folly. One story tells of a fisherman named Tano who, after a long day at sea, was drawn into the woods by the curious calls of the chickcharney. Captivated by its enchanting voice, Tano followed the sound, unaware that he was being led on a wild goose chase. Hours passed, and as dusk settled, Tano found himself hopelessly lost. Just when panic began to creep in, the chickcharney appeared before him, its eyes gleaming with a playful light. It circled around Tano, fluttering its wings and making silly noises until he couldn't help but laugh. In that moment, he realized that perhaps getting lost was not a curse but a reminder to embrace the unexpected joy life can bring. From then on, Tano shared this story with his children, teaching them that sometimes, even the smallest creatures could lead to the greatest adventures. Another lesser-known creature is the folklorian, a gentle giant that roams the sandy shores of the outer islands. Standing tall and sturdy, with skin that resembles the rough bark of a tree, the folklorian is said to protect the land and sea, ensuring that the balance of nature is preserved. Local fishermen tell tales of how the folklorian helps them on their journeys, guiding their boats through treacherous waters during storms. One fisherman, old and wise, recalls a stormy night when the waves crashed violently against his boat, threatening to capsize him. Just when despair began to settle in, he spotted the silhouette of the folklorian standing at the edge of the shore, its massive form swaying with the rhythm of the storm. The creature raised its arms to the sky, and in that instant, a calming energy enveloped the waters. The storm subsided, allowing the fisherman to return safely to shore. Grateful for the folklorian's intervention, he spent years sharing the story, instilling a deep respect for nature and its guardians in the hearts of those who would listen. On another island, there's the tale of the Baku, a creature with the body of a tapir and the head of a crocodile. Though it may seem fierce, the Baku is known to be a gentle protector of dreams. It is said that this creature roams the night, watching over children as they sleep, ensuring their dreams are filled with wonder rather than nightmares. Many parents leave offerings of fruit or small trinkets by their children's beds to show gratitude for the Baku's protection. A story from a village tells of a little girl named Maya who was plagued by nightmares. One night, she placed a shiny seashell by her bedside, hoping to catch the attention of the Baku. That night, she dreamt of vibrant colors, dancing fairies, and endless fields of flowers. When she woke, Maya felt an overwhelming sense of joy and peace. Grateful for the Baku's kindness, she began to share her dreams with her friends, encouraging them to leave offerings too. Soon, the village was filled with laughter and joy as children gathered to share their dreams, fostering a sense of community and gratitude for the mystical creature that watched over them. The islands are also home to the Wild Man, a legendary figure shrouded in mystery. Known for his wild hair and unkempt beard, the Wild Man is said to dwell in the hidden caves of the islands, appearing only during the full moon. His laughter can be heard echoing through the trees, bringing both fear and intrigue to the hearts of those who hear it. While some fear the Wild Man, others believe he possesses the wisdom of the ancients, guiding lost souls back to safety. A particularly memorable tale tells of a boy named Kai who was known for his adventurous spirit. One night, he ventured into the woods to catch a glimpse of the Wild Man. As he wandered deeper into the forest, Kai lost his way and soon felt the weight of fear pressing down on him. Just when despair threatened to consume him, the laughter of the Wild Man rang out, echoing through the trees. With a sudden burst of courage, Kai followed the sound until he stumbled upon the Wild Man, who welcomed him with open arms. They spent the night sharing stories, laughter, and wisdom. The next morning, Kai awoke to find himself back home, a smile on his face and a newfound respect for the power of the unknown. These creatures, the Chikcharni, Folklorian, Baku, and Wild Man, reflect the diverse and rich tapestry of Bahamian mythology. Each story carries an emotional weight, teaching valuable lessons about courage, respect for nature, and the importance of community. The islanders' connection to these mythical beings deepens their understanding of the world around them, reminding them that even the most whimsical tales can hold profound truths. As the sun sets over the horizon, casting golden rays across the islands, the legacy of these enigmatic creatures lives on, forever etched in the hearts of those who call the Bahamas home. In the quiet corners of the Bahamas, where shadows stretch long under the glow of the moon, stories of the Buhag weave through the fabric of everyday life. This creature is more than just a myth, it represents fears and beliefs that echo through generations. The Buhag, known for its eerie presence and unsettling antics, strikes fear into the hearts of many. It is said to be a shape-shifting witch who can remove her skin and slip into homes, preying on the unsuspecting. The origins of the Buhag can be traced back to the West African traditions brought to the islands by enslaved people. These stories carried over time, merging with local beliefs and creating a complex tapestry of folklore. It is believed that the Boo Hag is a remnant of these traditions, embodying the struggles and fears of those who lived through a dark history. The very name Boo Hag resonates with the whispers of ancestors who fought for their voices to be heard. Imagine a still night, where the only sounds are the rustling leaves and the distant call of an owl. In the midst of this tranquility, a feeling of unease can settle in when the tales of the Boo Hag come to life. Locals say she prowls the streets after dark, searching for a victim to haunt. When she finds someone sleeping peacefully, she slips into their room, her skin left behind like a discarded shell. As she hovers over her victim, she steals their breath, leaving them feeling drained and weary by morning. The weight of exhaustion hangs heavy in the air, as if the night itself is wrapped in an invisible shroud of fear. One chilling story tells of a young woman named Layla, known for her bright smile and kind heart. She lived in a small village, beloved by all. One fateful night, after a long day of helping her neighbors, she drifted into a deep sleep. As the moon cast its silver light through her window, the Boo Hag slipped in, gliding silently across the floor. Layla's peaceful dreams were interrupted when she felt a weight on her chest, a coldness that made her skin crawl. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. Instead, she lay frozen, eyes wide open, watching the dark figure hover above her. When the sun rose, Layla awoke feeling utterly drained, as though she had run a marathon in her sleep. Confused and frightened, she shared her experience with the village elders, who nodded knowingly. They whispered about the Boo Hag, recounting how she had haunted others before. They warned Layla to take precautions, suggesting she sprinkle salt around her bed to keep the creature at bay. From that night on, Layla became vigilant, placing salt and herbs by her window and door, praying they would protect her from the Boo Hag's grasp. Each morning, she would wake tired, still feeling the residual weight of her encounter. Friends and family noticed her decline, her once vibrant spirit dimmed by fear. One evening, determined to reclaim her peace, Layla attended a gathering with friends. Laughter echoed in the air, the warmth of camaraderie wrapping around her like a comforting blanket. But as the night wore on, she felt a familiar chill creeping in, a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the laughter. That night, she could not shake the feeling of being watched. As her friends danced and shared stories, Layla hung back, her heart racing with anxiety. When she finally returned home, she found her heart pounding. She carefully sprinkled salt around her bed, each grain a symbol of her fight against fear. As she lay down, she could feel the energy in the room shift. The air grew heavy, and she sensed a presence lurking in the shadows. Desperate to confront her fears, Layla called out into the darkness. "I will not be afraid of you," she shouted, her voice steady despite the tremor in her heart. The room fell silent, as if the Boo Hag itself was taken aback. In that moment, Layla felt a surge of strength. She recalled the stories shared by the elders, the power of belief, and the importance of community. That night marked a turning point. No longer was she just a victim, she became a warrior of her own story. With the support of her friends and family, she formed a circle of protection. They would gather each week, sharing tales of the Boo Hag, empowering each other to confront their fears. Through laughter, storytelling, and rituals, they transformed the fear of the Boo Hag into a symbol of strength and resilience. The Boo Hag, once a source of terror, became a catalyst for unity. The villagers learned to share their experiences, knowing they were not alone. They sang songs and danced under the stars, celebrating their heritage and the power of community. In the end, the Boo Hag is more than just a figure of folklore, she embodies the struggles and triumphs of those who came before. The stories of hauntings and witchcraft remind islanders of their strength in facing fears together. As the tales echo through the ages, they transform fear into empowerment, illustrating how even the darkest shadows can be overcome by the light of shared strength and resilience. In the Bahamas, Boo Hag remains a haunting presence, a reminder of the struggles faced by those who came before. Yet, her legend also serves to unite communities, encouraging them to share their fears and find strength in one another. The islanders continue to honor their heritage, embracing both the light and dark, and finding beauty in the stories that have shaped their lives for generations. In the heart of the Bahamas, whispers of ancient tales and legends echo through the air, mingling with the salty breeze. These stories, rooted in Bahamian mythology, have not only shaped the identity of the islands, but have also inspired countless writers and artists around the world. The legends of mythical creatures like the Luska, the Jumbi, and the Chicharni resonate with profound truths and emotions, providing fertile ground for creative expression. The influence of Bahamian mythology can be seen in various forms of literature, from poetry to novels. Writers often draw upon the rich tapestry of these tales to explore themes of love, loss, fear, and resilience. The connection between the past and present serves as a reminder of the struggles faced by those who came before, making these stories timeless. The narratives provide insight into the human experience, offering solace and understanding to readers who may feel lost or alone. Take, for instance, the writings of Bahamian author and poet Nicole A. Seeley. Her work often reflects the beauty and complexity of the islands, infusing elements of folklore into her poetry. She captures the essence of the Luska, describing its power and grace while also hinting at the darkness that lies beneath the surface. Through her words, readers can feel the waves crashing against the shore, hear the whispers of the sea, and sense the presence of ancient spirits. Her poetry resonates with emotions that are both haunting and beautiful, inviting readers to connect with the rich heritage of the Bahamas. Similarly, Bahamian novelist and storyteller Takia N. Lacey weaves elements of mythology into her stories, bringing to life the enchanting characters that inhabit the islands. In her novels, the Chicharni often plays a crucial role as a guardian of the forest, symbolizing protection and wisdom. Through Lacey's vivid descriptions, readers can visualize the small, bird-like creature with its big eyes and vibrant feathers, a figure that sparks curiosity and wonder. The Chicharni serves as a reminder of the importance of nature and the delicate balance of life, urging readers to respect and cherish the world around them. Art, too, serves as a powerful medium for expressing the essence of Bahamian mythology. Local artists, inspired by the legends, create stunning works that capture the spirit of their culture. Vibrant paintings depicting the Luska swimming through crystal-clear waters, its tentacles swirling gracefully, evoke a sense of awe and admiration. These visual stories resonate with those who view them, offering a glimpse into the heart and soul of the islands. Each brushstroke tells a story, evoking emotions that transport the viewer to a place where myth and reality intertwine. One such artist, J.A. Glinton, uses his talent to explore the connections between Bahamian mythology and contemporary life. His art often features mythical creatures alongside everyday scenes, merging the old with the new. For example, in one of his paintings, a fisherman casts his net while a Jumbi lurks nearby, watching with curiosity. This juxtaposition of myth and reality invites viewers to consider the impact of these legends on their lives, making them feel connected to their roots. In addition to visual art, music also plays a significant role in expressing Bahamian mythology. Traditional songs and stories are passed down through generations, preserving the rich history of the islands. The rhythmic beats of Junkanoo music can be heard during festivals, where dancers adorned in colorful costumes bring mythical creatures to life, celebrating their culture with joy and pride. Through these performances, the spirit of the islands resonates, and the audience feels a powerful connection to the past. Modern musicians like the Bahamian band Bahamen draw inspiration from folklore in their music. Their catchy tunes often incorporate themes from Bahamian legends, infusing contemporary rhythms with traditional elements. The result is a celebration of culture that transcends time, resonating with both locals and visitors alike. When people hear these songs, they are reminded of the stories that shaped their identity, sparking a sense of nostalgia and belonging. The impact of Bahamian mythology extends beyond the islands, influencing writers and artists around the globe. International authors have incorporated elements of Bahamian folklore into their works, creating a bridge between cultures. The stories of the Buhag, Luska, and other mythical creatures have found their way into novels and poetry that resonate with diverse audiences. Readers from different backgrounds can find common ground in these tales, discovering shared fears, hopes, and dreams. Through literature and art, Bahamian mythology continues to thrive, breathing life into the stories of the past while shaping the future. These narratives carry the weight of history, reflecting the struggles and triumphs of those who lived through dark times. They remind us of our connections to one another, to the land, and to the spirits that inhabit our world. As writers and artists breathe new life into these tales, they keep the essence of Bahamian mythology alive. The stories transcend generations, whispering to those willing to listen, inviting them to embrace the richness of the culture. Each new expression serves as a testament to the enduring power of myth, uniting people through shared experiences and emotions. In the end, Bahamian mythology is more than just stories. It is a living, breathing entity that pulses with the heart of the islands. The influences on modern writers and artists are profound, serving as a reminder that even in our darkest moments, we can find hope and inspiration in the tales that connect us to our past. Through literature and art, these legends will continue to resonate, echoing the dreams and struggles of generations to come. The warmth of the sun, the rhythm of the waves, and the whispers of the ancients remind us that we are all part of this beautiful, intricate tapestry of life. The sun rises over the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, casting golden rays on the sandy shores and drawing tourists from all corners of the globe. With each wave that crashes against the beach, a blend of ancient stories and modern excitement fills the air. The allure of Bahamian folklore, rich with tales of mythical creatures like the Lucayan and Jumbie, captures the imagination of those seeking adventure. But as tourism flourishes, the essence of these age-old legends begins to shift, transforming into something both captivating and commercialized. Tourists arrive with wide eyes and open hearts, eager to experience the magic that these islands promise. They yearn for stories that stir their emotions, tales that allow them to feel connected to a culture that thrives on mystery and wonder. Yet, in this desire for connection, something profound is altered. The legends, once deeply rooted in the fabric of Bahamian life, start to morph into spectacles designed for entertainment. The original meanings fade, replaced by simplified narratives that can be easily consumed and shared. The Lucayan, a creature said to inhabit the depths of blue holes, was once a fierce guardian of the sea, embodying the fears and respect that locals held for the ocean. In recent years, it has become a central figure in themed tours and attractions. Tour guides share stories about this half-shark, half-octopus creature, capturing the attention of thrill-seekers looking for an exhilarating experience. They tell tales of fishermen who have encountered the beast, embellishing the accounts with dramatic flair to evoke gasps and wide-eyed excitement. This new version of the Lucayan, while still thrilling, lacks the deeper understanding of the creature's significance and the lessons it once imparted. As tourists flock to witness the wonders of the islands, businesses find new ways to weave folklore into their offerings. Souvenir shops fill their shelves with plush toys of the Lucayan, t-shirts emblazoned with images of Jumbies, and artwork that reflects a romanticized version of Bahamian mythology. The once sacred stories now adorn trinkets and memorabilia, making them accessible to those who may never fully grasp their cultural roots. Each item purchased carries a piece of the myth, yet the true meaning behind these tales often gets lost in translation. The allure of the Chick-Charney, another beloved figure in Bahamian folklore, is similarly adapted for the tourism market. Once a guardian of the forest, known for its playful nature and mischievous spirit, the Chick-Charney has been transformed into a friendly creature that delights children and adults alike. Guided tours through the islands now include whimsical storytelling sessions featuring this charming character. Families gather around campfires, captivated by tales that paint the Chick-Charney as a lovable companion rather than a symbol of respect for nature. While these adaptations provide entertainment, they also dilute the original message of balance and harmony with the environment. The stories told to tourists may spark their imaginations, but they often lack the emotional depth that comes from understanding the cultural significance of these creatures. Bahamian locals, who have inherited these tales from generations past, may feel a sense of loss as their heritage is repackaged for mass consumption. The heart of these legends is rooted in personal experiences and communal wisdom, but as they become part of a tourist attraction, their essence risks being overshadowed by commercial interests. Yet, amid the commercialization, there remains a flicker of hope. Some businesses strive to present a more authentic experience, recognizing the importance of preserving the true essence of Bahamian folklore. Local storytellers share their knowledge with visitors, weaving the legends into interactive experiences that encourage genuine connection. They highlight the values and teachings embedded within the tales, inviting tourists to not only listen but to reflect on their meanings. In one such experience, visitors gather around a bonfire on the beach, the warm glow reflecting in their eyes as a local elder begins to share the story of the Boo Hag. This shape-shifting spirit, known for its haunting presence, represents the fears and struggles of those who have faced adversity. As the elder speaks, the tourists lean in, captivated not just by the story but by the emotions that pulse through it. The Boo Hag becomes more than just a creature, it embodies resilience and the spirit of overcoming darkness. These moments of authenticity remind both locals and tourists that the magic of these stories lies not just in the thrill of the unknown but in the shared experiences that bind us together. For Bahamians, these legends are part of their identity, carrying lessons and wisdom that span generations. For tourists, they offer a glimpse into a world where myths are alive, where the ocean and land are intertwined with the spirits of the past. As tourism continues to shape the perception of Bahamian mythology, the challenge lies in finding a balance between commercial interests and cultural preservation. The stories must be told with care, honoring the roots from which they spring. By doing so, they can inspire not just excitement but also understanding, allowing visitors to connect with the islands on a deeper level. In the end, the beauty of Bahamian folklore rests in its ability to evoke emotions that resonate across cultures. Each story carries the weight of history, love, loss, and hope. Whether it's through a plush toy or an interactive storytelling session, the goal should be to preserve the heart of these myths while inviting others to embrace the spirit of the islands. As the sun sets over the horizon, casting vibrant hues across the sky, the echoes of the past remind us that legends are not merely tales, but the threads that weave the fabric of life. In sharing these stories, we celebrate the bonds that connect us all, transcending time and distance. In the soft glow of twilight, as the sun sinks beneath the horizon, the Bahamas comes alive with the whispers of ancient tales. The air is thick with the scent of salt and adventure, and the echoes of laughter can be heard as families gather to share stories passed down through generations. These stories, filled with mythical creatures and spiritual lessons, are more than mere entertainment. They are the heartbeat of Bahamian identity, binding the past with the present and shaping a future steeped in cultural pride. From the mysterious Lusco lurking in the blue holes to the playful Chickcharney watching over the forests, these myths play a crucial role in defining who Bahamians are. They serve as a bridge, connecting people to their ancestors and their land. Every tale carries with it the essence of the islands, embodying values of respect, community, and a deep reverence for nature. As children listen wide-eyed to these stories, they absorb not just the magic of the creatures, but the wisdom behind them. These narratives instill a sense of belonging and a shared heritage that resonates in the hearts of all who call the Bahamas home. Myths in the Bahamas are not simply fanciful tales, they reflect the struggles and triumphs of a people who have navigated through colonization, migration, and the challenges of modern life. They are a testament to resilience, embodying the spirit of those who came before. The story of the Boo Hag, for instance, serves as a reminder of the darker aspects of human experience, teaching lessons about fear, survival, and the importance of community support. As locals recount these stories, they are not only preserving their history but also reinforcing the bonds that unite them as a nation. Cultural pride runs deep in the veins of Bahamians, and it flourishes through the celebration of these myths. Festivals and gatherings often feature tales that highlight local legends, showcasing the creativity and artistry of the people. In these moments, the community comes together, united in a shared sense of identity. Through song, dance, and storytelling, the myths are brought to life, celebrating the unique tapestry of Bahamian culture. This vibrant expression of heritage becomes a powerful force, instilling a sense of pride in both young and old. As the world grows increasingly interconnected, the threat of losing these traditions looms large. However, Bahamians are rising to the challenge, taking steps to preserve their cultural legacy. Community leaders, artists, and educators are working tirelessly to ensure that these myths are not lost to time. Schools incorporate folklore into their curriculums, teaching children about their roots and the stories that define their culture. Workshops and community events allow locals to gather and share their knowledge, nurturing a sense of ownership over their heritage. Artistic expressions also play a pivotal role in preserving these myths. Painters, sculptors, and writers draw inspiration from the stories that have shaped their identities. Murals depicting legendary creatures adorn walls, breathing new life into the tales that have enchanted generations. Books filled with vibrant illustrations capture the imagination of young readers, encouraging them to explore their cultural heritage. Each brushstroke and word is a testament to the resilience of Bahamian identity, a celebration of the past that enriches the present. The myths serve not only as a source of cultural pride, but also as a beacon for future generations. As children gather around the fire to listen to the stories of their ancestors, they learn that their identity is woven into the fabric of these legends. They come to understand that they are part of something greater, a lineage of storytellers and dreamers who have shaped the Bahamas into what it is today. This awareness fosters a sense of responsibility, motivating young Bahamians to carry the torch of their heritage forward. Through the retelling of these tales, the spirit of the Bahamas thrives. It flows like a river, nourishing the roots of cultural pride and resilience. The myths become a source of inspiration, igniting creativity and fostering a sense of belonging. When Bahamians share their stories, they invite others into their world, offering a glimpse into the magic that exists in their everyday lives. The tales resonate with visitors, creating connections that transcend borders and languages. The role of myth in Bahamian identity is a powerful testament to the enduring strength of culture. In a world that often seems chaotic and uncertain, these stories provide comfort and clarity, grounding individuals in their history and values. The legends remind everyone that they are part of a collective narrative, each thread woven together to form a rich tapestry that tells the story of a people. As the stars twinkle above the islands, the tales continue to be told, echoing through the generations. With each story shared, the bonds of community grow stronger, and the heartbeat of Bahamian identity resounds louder. The myths, alive with emotion and history, shape a future where cultural pride flourishes and the spirit of the Bahamas shines bright. The flames of tradition flicker but never die, illuminating the path for all who wish to walk in the footsteps of those who came before. In the quiet corners of the Bahamas, where the ocean meets the shore and the wind carries the whispers of ancestors, spirituality flows like a gentle tide. The air is thick with a sense of reverence, where the stories of mythical creatures blend seamlessly with the rituals of everyday life. For the people of the Bahamas, these tales are more than just stories, they are deeply intertwined with spiritual practices, shaping beliefs and guiding hearts through the challenges of life. Every island holds a treasure trove of legends. Among these tales, mythical beasts play a significant role, acting as guardians, guides, and symbols of hope. The Lucayan, that half-shark, half-octopus creature, is a powerful figure in Bahamian folklore. Many believe it resides in the deep blue holes and underwater caves, watching over those who venture into its domain. It is not just a creature of fear, but also a protector of the ocean's secrets. Fishermen often offer prayers and small gifts before setting sail, seeking the Lucayan's favor for a safe journey and a bountiful catch. In this way, the spirit of the Lucayan becomes a bridge between the living and the spiritual realm, guiding and protecting those who honor its presence. Rituals often draw on these legends, infusing them with a sense of purpose and connection. For instance, during special ceremonies, participants may invoke the power of the Chickcharney, a small, owl-like creature believed to be a guardian of the forests. As they gather around a fire, elders share stories of the Chickcharney's wisdom, encouraging respect for nature and the environment. The flickering flames cast shadows that dance like the creatures of old, filling the air with a sense of magic. Through these gatherings, the community strengthens its bonds and reaffirms its commitment to the land that nurtures them. Spiritual practices are rich with meaning, often reflecting the harmony between the physical and the mystical. Drumming and dancing form the heartbeat of many rituals, creating a rhythm that resonates with the earth itself. As the drums beat, the stories of the past come alive, calling forth the spirits of the ancestors. The air vibrates with energy as the community participates in this sacred act, feeling the presence of mythical beings surrounding them. These ceremonies become a celebration of life, a reminder that the spirits of nature are always with them, guiding their paths. In many ceremonies, participants dress in vibrant colors, embodying the creatures they honor. The Bahamian unicorn, known as the devil's horse, is often represented in these gatherings. This mythical creature symbolizes strength and beauty, reminding the community of their resilience. As people move gracefully, mimicking the creature's elegance, they channel its spirit, embracing the qualities that the devil's horse represents. These acts are more than just performances, they are a profound connection to the very essence of Bahamian identity, a tribute to the strength of the community and its ties to the land. The spiritual practices of the Bahamas also reflect a deep respect for ancestors, whose wisdom continues to guide the living. When performing rituals, families often invoke the spirits of those who have passed, seeking their guidance and blessings. The tales of mythical creatures serve as reminders of the strength that lies within the family and the community. Each story becomes a vessel for lessons learned, love shared, and struggles overcome. As these stories are passed down, they forge an unbreakable bond between generations, ensuring that the spirit of those who came before remains alive in the hearts of the living. The significance of mythical creatures in these practices extends beyond mere storytelling. They symbolize the struggles and triumphs of the Bahamian people, representing their hopes, dreams, and fears. For instance, the Jumbi, often seen as a spirit of mischief, teaches lessons about caution and respect. Fishermen recount tales of encounters with the Jumbi, emphasizing the importance of honoring the ocean and its creatures. By integrating these lessons into rituals, the community nurtures a sense of responsibility for their environment, fostering a deep connection with nature. As the sun sets and the stars blanket the night sky, the spirits of the mythical creatures come alive. The air hums with the energy of rituals as community members join hands, creating a circle of unity. Each heartbeat resonates with the rhythm of the drums, echoing the stories of their ancestors. In this moment, the lines between the physical and spiritual realms blur, allowing everyone to feel the presence of the creatures that guard their land. It is a beautiful reminder that the Bahamas is not just a place, but a tapestry woven with the threads of history, culture, and spirituality. Through these spiritual practices, the community embraces its identity, celebrating the rich heritage that defines it. The connection between folklore and rituals creates a powerful sense of belonging, inviting individuals to explore their roots and share their stories. In the heart of the Bahamas, spirit of mythical creatures thrives, guiding the living and honoring the past. Each tale told, each ritual performed, becomes a heartbeat in the ongoing story of the islands, uniting the people in a bond that transcends time and space. In this sacred dance between the seen and the unseen, the essence of Bahamian identity continues to flourish, nourished by the love and respect for the mythical beasts that call these islands home. In the quiet of the Bahamian nights, as the stars twinkle like distant lanterns, tales of mythical creatures continue to emerge. These stories, passed down through generations, weave together threads of fear and fascination, reminding us that magic still lingers in the shadows. Even in today's world, with its hustle and bustle, there are moments when people encounter the extraordinary, moments that leave them breathless, questioning what they thought they knew about reality. One such story comes from a fisherman named Marcus, who was returning home after a long day on the water. As he navigated the calm waves, he spotted something moving just beneath the surface. At first, it looked like a shadow dancing in the moonlight. Intrigued, Marcus steered his boat closer, his heart pounding with a mix of excitement and fear. As he leaned over the side, he caught a glimpse of a massive creature, a lusca, with its sleek body resembling that of a shark but with long, flowing tentacles that glided gracefully through the water. For a moment, time stood still as he locked eyes with the beast. In that instant, he felt a connection that ran deeper than fear. It was as if they were sharing a secret known only to the ocean. When Marcus returned home, he couldn't shake the feeling that he had encountered something magical. His friends listened intently as he recounted the tale, eyes wide with disbelief and wonder. Some laughed, dismissing it as a tall tale, while others leaned in closer, intrigued. The story spread through the island like wildfire, igniting discussions about the Lusca and its role as a guardian of the sea. People began sharing their own experiences, stories passed down from their grandparents or whispered about around bonfires. These tales, often embellished with each retelling, kept the spirit of the Lusca alive, breathing new life into the ancient legends. The stories didn't just stop at the Lusca. Rumors of sightings of the Jumbi, a mischievous spirit known for causing trouble, also resurfaced in conversations. People reported seeing strange lights flickering over the water late at night or hearing eerie laughter echoing through the trees. One evening, a group of teenagers camping on a remote beach shared tales of a Jumbi haunting their campsite. They spoke of shadows flitting between the trees and the chilling sensation of being watched. Although terrified, they felt a thrill coursing through them, aware that these moments were part of something bigger, something magical that connected them to their ancestors and the land they called home. As stories of these mythical creatures circulate, they evolve, transforming into contemporary legends. Each new account adds a layer of depth, weaving in the fears and hopes of those who tell them. In the small towns of the Bahamas, local artists have taken to painting murals inspired by these stories, creating vibrant depictions of the Lusca, the Jumbi, and other creatures of legend. These murals, splashed across the walls of cafes and community centers, invite passers-by to pause and reflect on the stories that shape their culture. They become not just decorations, but living expressions of a shared identity, celebrating the intertwining of folklore and modern life. Social media has also played a significant role in bringing these legends to new audiences. People from different parts of the world share their own experiences with mythical creatures, fostering a sense of community among believers and skeptics alike. A video of a group of divers who claimed to have encountered a Lusca during their expedition went viral, sparking debates about the existence of such creatures. Comments flooded in, ranging from admiration and awe to ridicule and skepticism. Yet, amidst the banter, a deep curiosity flourished, drawing more people into the magic of Bahamian folklore. As time goes on, the legends adapt to the modern world, reflecting the changing values and beliefs of the community. Where once the Jumbi was feared as a malevolent spirit, stories now portray it as a playful trickster, a reminder not to take life too seriously. The evolution of these tales signifies a growing understanding of the balance between fear and respect, reminding everyone that life's mysteries can often be playful rather than perilous. These contemporary sightings and evolving stories serve as a testament to the resilience of culture. They remind the people of the Bahamas that no matter how much the world changes, the spirit of their myths lives on. The magical creatures that once roamed the forests and seas are still present in the hearts and minds of the people. Each retelling is a thread that connects them to their ancestors and to one another, weaving a tapestry of shared experiences and emotions. Through these modern encounters and the stories they inspire, the essence of Bahamian mythology continues to thrive. It reminds everyone that while the world may seem fast and chaotic, there are moments of wonder waiting to be discovered right outside their doors. The night skies may twinkle with stars, but they also hold the secrets of creatures that dance just out of sight, waiting for the brave or the curious to seek them out. As people gather to share their tales, laughter and excitement fill the air, a beautiful reminder that myth and reality are not so far apart. The stories of the Lusca, the Jumbi, and other mythical beings echo in the hearts of the Bahamian people, forging connections that transcend time. Whether they are just stories or something more, these modern sightings breathe new life into the legends, ensuring that the magic of the Bahamas will continue to be shared and cherished for generations to come. In the shimmering waters of the Bahamas, where the horizon kisses the ocean, stories of mythical creatures thrive alongside the realities of marine life. Tales of the Lusca, a creature said to be part shark and part octopus, dance through the minds of locals and visitors alike, igniting wonder and curiosity. But beyond the enchanting stories lies a fascinating intersection where science and myth meet, creating a bridge between the fantastical and the factual. This blending of folklore and scientific inquiry often starts with a simple question: could there be truth behind these stories? Fishermen recount their encounters with the Lusca, describing it as a shadowy figure that lurks in underwater caves. Their tales are steeped in fear and awe, but they also provide valuable information about the sea's mysterious inhabitants. Researchers listen intently to these accounts, knowing that there could be a grain of truth hidden within the folklore. When science takes a closer look, it brings with it a sense of excitement, like a treasure hunt through the depths of the ocean. Marine biologists have begun studying the ecosystems where these mythical creatures are said to reside. They examine underwater caves and the surrounding waters, searching for signs of extraordinary life forms that could have inspired the tales. With every dive into the abyss, scientists hope to uncover a creature that embodies the essence of the Luska. The thrill of discovery fuels their passion, for within every legend, there lies a possibility waiting to be unveiled. Imagine a team of researchers descending into the azure depths, their hearts racing as they approach a dark cave. With each flicker of their flashlights, they illuminate the rugged walls adorned with marine life, hoping to catch a glimpse of something extraordinary. In the stillness of the water, they encounter schools of fish darting away, leaving ripples that echo through the silence. But then, a shadow emerges, a glimpse of something large and graceful moving just out of sight. The excitement is palpable as they realize they may be witnessing a new species, a creature that could bridge the gap between myth and reality. As scientific expeditions continue, they also reveal the delicate balance between folklore and fact. Stories of the Luska and other mythical beings are not mere fabrications, they often stem from genuine observations of animals that exist in the ocean. Encounters with the elusive giant squid or other deep-sea wonders can ignite imaginations and inspire legends. This connection reinforces the idea that myths can serve as a way to understand the natural world, acting as a reminder of the mysteries that still lie beneath the waves. Yet, it is not just in the depths of the ocean that these intersections occur. On the lush islands, tales of creatures like the Chickcharney remind the local people of their connection to the land. Described as small, bird-like beings with large eyes, Chickcharneys are said to be protectors of the forest. As conservationists work to protect Bahamian ecosystems, they find themselves walking a line between honoring these cultural legends and advocating for environmental science. The stories of Chickcharneys become more than folklore, they represent a call to action, a reminder of the importance of preserving the fragile habitats that house both the mythical and the real. In the heart of the community, discussions arise about the relevance of these myths in modern times. Some people believe that by valuing folklore, they can also promote environmental awareness. The tales of the Chickcharney and the Luska are not just stories to be told around a fire, they can serve as powerful tools for education. By linking these mythical creatures to the conservation of their environments, people can foster a deeper understanding of their cultural heritage while ensuring the survival of the natural world. The blending of science and myth also has the power to instill hope. When children listen to stories of mythical creatures, their imaginations ignite. They dream of adventures beneath the waves, where they might encounter a creature like the Luska. These tales inspire future generations to become marine biologists, environmentalists, and storytellers, ensuring that the magic of their heritage is passed down. By encouraging curiosity and exploration, the legends of the Bahamas breathe life into aspirations and dreams. As science continues to investigate these extraordinary stories, it does not aim to dismantle them but to enhance their significance. The mysteries surrounding the Luska, the Jumbie, and other creatures serves as a reminder of the beauty that exists in the unknown. Science offers a lens through which these myths can be examined, providing a sense of wonder that goes hand in hand with factual discovery. In this union, the heart of the Bahamas beats stronger, resonating with the pulse of both nature and storytelling. The future is bright as science and folklore continue to coexist. The exploration of the ocean's depths and the lush forests can lead to groundbreaking discoveries while simultaneously honoring the rich tapestry of Bahamian culture. Every encounter with a mythical creature, every scientific finding, weaves another thread into the fabric of the island's identity. The tales may evolve, but their essence remains, captivating hearts and minds alike. Ultimately, the intersection of science and myth fosters a profound understanding of what it means to be part of this world. It encourages respect for the environment, appreciation for cultural heritage, and a celebration of the unknown. In the Bahamas, where the stories flow as freely as the tides, both the legendary and the factual coexist, reminding everyone that sometimes the most magical adventures lie just beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. The Caribbean is a vibrant tapestry of cultures, rich with stories that echo through time. Each island boasts its own unique folklore, filled with captivating tales that both enchant and terrify. As these stories weave through generations, they tell us not just of mythical creatures, but of the people and their shared experiences. When you listen closely, you can hear the whispers of the past, carrying the influences of African, European, and indigenous myths. Take, for instance, the tales of the Bahamian Luska, a fearsome creature said to inhabit the underwater caves. This part shark, part octopus embodies the mysteries of the deep, capturing the imagination of fishermen and adventurers alike. But the Luska is not alone in its haunting beauty. Similar creatures appear throughout the Caribbean, such as the Duppy in Jamaican folklore, a ghostly spirit that can be both protector and menace. The comparisons between these creatures reveal a common thread that runs through the heart of the Caribbean narrative. In Jamaica, the Duppy is often described as a spirit that can take the form of an animal or even a human. It embodies the fears and struggles of a community shaped by a tumultuous history. While the Luska haunts the waters, the Duppy roams the land, both serving as reminders of the unknown. Both legends reflect a deeper cultural meaning, the struggle against the forces of nature, the importance of respect for the environment, and the ever-present connection to ancestors. As stories travel from island to island, they morph and change, influenced by the unique cultural backgrounds of each community. African traditions heavily shaped Caribbean folklore, blending ancient beliefs with new realities. The tales of creatures like the Luska and the Duppy are rooted in African myth, where water spirits play a crucial role in the cultural landscape. These spirits often serve as guardians of the water, warning people to treat their environment with care and reverence. Alongside these African influences, European tales also made their mark. Stories brought by colonizers introduced new themes and characters, creating a fusion of ideas. For instance, the mythical mermaids of European folklore found their way into Caribbean tales, often becoming a symbol of both beauty and danger. The enchanting songs of these mermaids could lure sailors to their doom, just as the Luska waits for unsuspecting victims to wander into its underwater lair. Indigenous myths also add depth to the Caribbean's folklore. The Taino people, native to the Bahamas, spoke of Zimi, spirits connected to the earth and ancestors. These Zimi are not just statues, they represent a deep spiritual connection to the land, much like the way the Luska embodies the sea's mysteries. Both the Zimi and the Luska remind us of the powerful forces that exist in nature, deserving of respect and awe. While these stories share common elements, they also showcase unique characteristics. For example, the Luska's dual nature reflects a deep understanding of the ocean's unpredictability, whereas the Duppy's characteristics are more focused on the struggle between the living and the dead. In Trinidad, the Sucuyant takes on a different form entirely, as a witch that sheds her skin to fly through the night. Each creature serves as a mirror to the fears and beliefs of the people, reflecting the cultural landscape from which they arise. These tales serve a purpose beyond mere entertainment. They carry lessons from the past, teaching the importance of respecting the environment and understanding one's place within the world. In every corner of the Caribbean, people tell stories to educate, warn, and inspire. The folklore acts as a guide, helping communities navigate the complexities of life. As tourists flock to the Caribbean, the rich folklore often takes center stage in the cultural experience. Visitors are drawn to the stories of mermaids, spirits, and mythical beasts, captivated by the enchanting legends that fill the air. While these tales are shared, they also risk becoming commercialized, stripped of their deeper meaning. The challenge lies in preserving the essence of these stories while sharing them with a broader audience. Some communities work tirelessly to maintain the integrity of their folklore, ensuring that the tales of the Luska, Duppy, and Zimi are told with respect and authenticity. Cultural festivals and storytelling events serve as platforms for sharing these legends, allowing the stories to evolve while staying true to their roots. This effort honors the past, keeping the spirit of the myths alive for future generations. At the core of these tales is the connection to identity. For many Caribbean people, their myths are a source of pride, a way to celebrate their unique heritage. The stories remind them of their ancestors, their struggles, and their resilience. They are a testament to survival and adaptability, echoing the rich history of the Caribbean islands. In the end, the comparative analysis of Caribbean myths reveals a rich tapestry woven with shared themes and unique characteristics. From the chilling waters of the Bahamas to the vibrant landscapes of Jamaica and Trinidad, each story captures the essence of its people. They remind us of the beauty and complexity of life, of the fears we share, and the hopes that bind us. The stories of the Luska, Duppy, and Zimi continue to resonate, a heartfelt reminder of the enduring power of myth in shaping our identities and understanding the world around us. From the warm sands of the Caribbean to the snowy peaks of the Himalayas, myths weave a shared tapestry that connects people across the globe. Every culture has its own stories filled with magical creatures, brave heroes, and lessons about life. These tales may come from different places, but they often share strikingly similar themes. The beauty of these connections shows us that, despite our many differences, we all grapple with the same questions about existence, morality, and the unknown. Take, for instance, the theme of creation. Every culture has a story about how the world began. In many African cultures, the earth was created by a supreme being who shaped the land and filled it with life. In Greek mythology, chaos reigned before the gods brought order to the universe. In the Caribbean, tales of the Taino people speak of gods who crafted the islands and breathed life into them. Each story reflects the deep human desire to understand our origins and our place in the world. The shared longing for answers ties us together, reminding us that we all look to the skies, the oceans, and the stars for guidance. As you listen to these stories, you can feel the heartbeat of humanity pulsing through them. The legends of heroic journeys echo in cultures worldwide. From the Greek hero Odysseus navigating treacherous waters to the tales of Anansi the spider, a clever trickster in West African folklore, these narratives celebrate resilience and bravery. In each story, the hero faces challenges, battles monsters, and learns valuable lessons. Whether it's a young warrior proving their worth or a wise elder guiding the way, these characters resonate with us, reminding us that growth often comes through struggle. Equally captivating are the mythical creatures that populate our folklore. Dragons, for example, appear in stories from Europe to Asia, each embodying unique qualities. In Western mythology, dragons often represent chaos and destruction, while in Asian cultures, they are revered as symbols of wisdom and protection. This contrast reveals how the same creature can take on different meanings based on cultural perspectives. In the Caribbean, we have our own mythical beings, such as the Luska, a terrifying half-shark, half-octopus creature lurking in the depths. Each mythical creature serves as a mirror reflecting the values and fears of its culture, connecting people through a shared understanding of the world around them. Moreover, the themes of transformation and duality appear across various mythologies. Many cultures have stories of beings who can change their forms, such as the Selkies of Scottish folklore, who transform from seals to humans, or the werewolves of European legends, who shift from human to beast. In these tales, transformation often symbolizes the struggle between good and evil, light and dark, or the mundane and the extraordinary. This duality resonates deeply with our human experience, capturing the essence of our internal battles and the choices we face every day. The relationship between humans and nature is another theme that unites myths around the world. In Native American folklore, the land is often seen as a living entity, and stories reflect a deep respect for nature. Similarly, in Japanese mythology, kami, or spirits, inhabit trees, rivers, and mountains, emphasizing the interconnectedness of all living things. In Caribbean folklore, the Zimi are earth spirits representing the ancestral connection to the land. These stories remind us that we are part of a larger ecosystem and encourage us to honor and protect the environment. As we listen to these myths, we can feel the call to respect the natural world, a lesson that remains ever relevant in today's rapidly changing climate. As myths travel from culture to culture, they evolve and adapt, creating a rich tapestry of shared experiences. The story of the flood, for instance, appears in various forms across different cultures. The biblical account of Noah's Ark finds parallels in the Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh and the Hindu story of Manu. Each narrative serves as a reminder of nature's power and humanity's vulnerability. By examining these parallels, we can see how communities respond to common fears and challenges, reflecting the shared human experience in confronting the forces of nature. The interconnectedness of global myths fosters understanding and empathy among cultures. When we hear a tale from another part of the world, we can see the threads that bind us all together. The stories of our ancestors reveal the hopes, dreams, and struggles that define us as humans. This realization can inspire compassion, bridging gaps between cultures and encouraging us to celebrate our diversity. Furthermore, modern storytelling continues to draw inspiration from these ancient tales. Books, movies, and art often weave together elements from various mythologies, creating new narratives that resonate with audiences around the globe. The popularity of fantasy genres, like the Harry Potter series or the Marvel Universe, demonstrates how ancient themes and creatures remain relevant in contemporary storytelling. By blending cultural elements, these stories allow us to explore our shared humanity, reminding us of the timeless truths that echo through the ages. As we reflect on the global connections found in mythology, we can't help but feel a sense of wonder. The stories from around the world are not just relics of the past, they live on in our hearts and minds, shaping our identities and beliefs. They remind us of our shared humanity, our struggles, and our triumphs. In a world that can sometimes feel divided, these myths serve as a bridge, bringing us closer together and allowing us to find common ground. The examination of shared themes in world mythology reveals a beautiful tapestry woven from the threads of human experience. From creation myths to tales of transformation, the stories we tell connect us across time and space. They inspire us to look within ourselves and reflect on the universal truths that bind us together. Each myth, with its unique cultural flavor, adds to the richness of the human experience, inviting us to share our stories and listen to those of others. It is through this exchange that we find connection, understanding, and ultimately, the profound realization that we are all part of the same narrative, intertwined by the magic of our shared existence. The tales of the Bahamas echo with whispers of ancient spirits, fearsome creatures, and lessons passed down through generations. Yet, as the world evolves, these cherished stories face modern challenges that threaten their existence. With each passing day, the fabric of Bahamian mythology is tested, and the urgency to preserve it becomes more profound. The fear of losing these narratives can be overwhelming, making us wonder, will future generations still hear the legends that shaped their ancestors? In a world captivated by technology, the allure of instant gratification often overshadows the importance of oral traditions. Children, once gathered around elders listening intently to the stories of the Chicharni or the Jumbi, now find themselves entranced by screens, scrolling through endless content. While technology offers wonderful advantages, it can also create a gap between generations. This disconnection from the rich tapestry of folklore leaves young minds unaware of the cultural roots that bind them. The haunting thought of these tales fading into obscurity tugs at the heart, a stark reminder of what we stand to lose. Yet, the challenge is not solely in the hands of the youth. As society progresses, urbanization transforms landscapes that were once steeped in myth and magic. Coastal developments, deforestation, and the changing environment threaten the very places where these stories originated. The Zimi, revered spirits of the land, are at risk of becoming mere memories as the natural world they inhabit diminishes. Each tree felled, each beach altered, erodes the sacred spaces that nurtured these legends. The nostalgia for what once was clashes with the reality of progress, leaving behind a bittersweet longing for the past. Bahamian mythology is not just a collection of stories, it is an integral part of the nation's identity. As these narratives face the threat of fading into silence, efforts are emerging to keep them alive. Community leaders, educators, and artists recognize the urgent need to document and share these tales, ensuring they are not lost to time. Festivals celebrating Bahamian culture have become vital platforms for storytelling, where elders pass down their wisdom to eager listeners. Through dance, music, and visual art, the vibrant essence of mythology finds new expressions, captivating hearts and minds once more. As we look ahead, we can feel a flicker of hope. The evolution of myths is not simply a loss but an opportunity for rebirth. Just as the tides change, so too can the stories that rise with them. The essence of Bahamian mythology can adapt to modern times, intertwining with contemporary experiences while retaining its core values. Today's storytellers have the chance to reinterpret these age-old tales, bridging the gap between tradition and modernity. The journey of the rake, for example, can transform from a cautionary tale into a metaphor for the struggles faced by today's youth, inspiring resilience in the face of adversity. The connection between the land and its stories remains a profound source of inspiration. As young Bahamians explore their roots, they can weave new threads into the fabric of mythology, creating narratives that reflect their realities and aspirations. The evolution of these stories is a testament to the power of resilience and creativity, showing that even in a changing world, the spirit of mythology can thrive. Predictions for the future of Bahamian mythology paint a picture of transformation. In a rapidly globalizing world, the fusion of cultures can lead to the birth of new legends, rooted in the rich soil of Bahamian folklore while embracing influences from diverse backgrounds. As the youth connect with global narratives, they may find ways to blend their own stories with those from other cultures, enriching the tapestry of mythology further. This cross-pollination of ideas can create an exciting landscape of new myths that resonate across borders, celebrating shared human experiences. The preservation of mythology is not merely about safeguarding stories, it is about nurturing the values and lessons they convey. The emphasis on community, respect for nature, and the importance of family can be powerful guiding principles in a world that often feels fragmented. By instilling these values in younger generations, the essence of Bahamian mythology can endure, providing a compass for navigating life's challenges. The stories may evolve, but their heart can remain steadfast, beating in time with the rhythm of the islands. Moreover, education plays a crucial role in keeping mythology alive. Incorporating folklore into school curriculums can spark curiosity and pride among students. When children learn about the origins of their culture, they are more likely to appreciate its significance. Educational programs that invite artists and storytellers into classrooms can create engaging experiences, igniting the imagination and ensuring that the tales of the past continue to resonate in the future. As Bahamians look to the future, they must also embrace their role as guardians of their heritage. Community-driven initiatives can foster a sense of ownership over the preservation of mythology. By coming together to celebrate local legends through art, literature, and festivals, people can create a vibrant cultural identity that resonates with both young and old. These gatherings become spaces for storytelling, laughter, and reflection, allowing the threads of mythology to weave through the fabric of daily life. In this quest to preserve Bahamian mythology, the stories take on new life. The legends that once haunted the shores can transform into guiding lights, illuminating the path forward. While challenges may threaten the preservation of these tales, the collective spirit of a community can rise to meet them. Each story told, each legend shared, adds to the legacy of Bahamian culture, ensuring that future generations can find solace, inspiration, and strength in the myths that shaped their identity. The journey ahead is filled with uncertainty, but the heart of Bahamian mythology beats strong. With every effort to preserve and evolve these narratives, the spirit of the islands will remain alive, weaving its magic through the lives of those who call it home. The future of these cherished tales rests not only in the hands of storytellers and elders, but also in the hearts of the young, eager to carry the torch forward, igniting the flames of creativity and connection for generations to come. Myths have an incredible power that resonates across time and space, drawing people together through shared experiences and beliefs. They are more than just stories, they are the lifeblood of cultures, capturing the essence of who we are and where we come from. As I reflect on the enduring nature of myths, it becomes clear why these tales have survived the test of time and continue to shape our understanding of the world. At their core, myths speak to fundamental human experiences, the joys, fears, struggles, and triumphs that connect us all. Whether it's the tale of a brave hero conquering a fearsome beast or a cautionary story about the consequences of greed, these narratives offer lessons that are relevant across generations. They teach us about bravery, love, loss, and the delicate balance of nature. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, myths provide a comforting sense of order. They remind us that we are part of something larger than ourselves, that our struggles have been faced by others before us, and that we are not alone. As I immersed myself in research and writing, the power of myth became palpable. Each story I uncovered echoed with the voices of those who came before me, weaving a tapestry of cultural identity that felt both unique and universal. There was a certain magic in exploring how different societies articulate their beliefs and values through myth, and how these stories often intersect, reflecting shared human experiences. It brought tears to my eyes to realize that regardless of distance or background, the stories of courage, hope, and redemption bind us together in an invisible thread of humanity. The impact of myths on culture cannot be overstated. They are the stories that shape our traditions, our art, our music, and our very way of life. In the Bahamas, for example, the tales of mythical creatures and legendary figures infuse the islands with a sense of identity and belonging. These narratives are not just relics of the past, they continue to influence contemporary culture, inspiring artists, writers, and musicians who draw on these rich traditions to create something new and vibrant. Seeing how modern expressions of mythology reflect ancient stories is a powerful reminder of the continuity of human creativity. One particularly moving moment in my research was hearing personal accounts from people whose lives had been touched by these myths. A fisherman spoke of the Jumbi, a spirit said to protect the waters and guide those who respect the sea. He described how, on stormy nights, he would tell his children the tales of the Jumbi to instill in them a respect for the ocean and its mysteries. This connection between storytelling and everyday life highlights how myths serve as a bridge between generations, imparting wisdom and values that are essential for survival. The stories also serve as a source of pride for communities. In the face of modern challenges, from globalization to climate change, myths offer a sense of stability and continuity. They remind people of their roots, encouraging them to cherish their heritage and preserve it for future generations. The emotional weight of this responsibility is immense. It is a call to action to keep these stories alive, to ensure that the voices of ancestors continue to resonate in the hearts of the young. As I penned down these reflections, I was struck by the realization that the act of storytelling is inherently an act of love. Each tale told, each legend passed down, is a gift to the future, a way of saying, you are part of this narrative. It is a way to connect with one another, to foster empathy, and to build a sense of community. This understanding inspired me to approach my writing with a sense of reverence and responsibility, knowing that these myths carry the weight of generations. Engaging with the myths of different cultures also deepened my appreciation for the diversity of human thought and experience. It illuminated how similar themes emerge across different societies, despite variations in expression and belief. This realization was both humbling and exhilarating, as it underscored our shared humanity. It served as a reminder that while our individual stories may differ, the underlying emotions and struggles are often universal. The power of myth lies not only in its ability to endure, but also in its capacity to adapt. In this age of rapid change, we are witnessing the evolution of traditional narratives into new forms. This evolution is not a dilution of meaning, instead, it reflects the dynamic nature of culture itself. It shows that while the core of a myth may remain constant, its interpretation can shift to address contemporary issues, resonating with new generations. My reflections on this journey of research and writing have deepened my understanding of what it means to be a storyteller. It is a role filled with responsibility, a duty to honor the past while embracing the present. Each myth, each story, is a thread in the rich tapestry of culture, and as I hold that thread in my hands, I feel the weight of history and the hope for the future. Ultimately, myths endure because they resonate with the human spirit. They touch our hearts, stir our imaginations, and offer insights that guide us through life. In a world where change is the only constant, These timeless tales remind us of the values that anchor us, the dreams that inspire us, and the connections that bind us. It is this powerful interplay of emotion and meaning that ensures myths will continue to thrive, capturing the hearts of those who come after us and weaving their magic into the fabric of our lives. The echoes of ancient stories still linger in the air, whispers of past generations that continue to shape our lives today. Myths are not mere tales, they are the heartbeat of cultures, carrying the hopes, dreams, and fears of people across time. They remind us of who we are and where we come from, connecting us to our ancestors in ways that are both profound and moving. As we reflect on the world of myths, it becomes clear that these stories are woven into the very fabric of our existence. Each tale holds a lesson, a truth that resonates deeply within us. They teach us about courage, resilience, and the delicate balance of nature. Whether it's the cautionary warnings of the Boo Hag or the protective spirit of the Jumbi, these narratives resonate with emotions that stir our hearts and evoke a sense of belonging. In the Bahamas, as in many places around the world, myths serve as a bridge between generations. They connect the past with the present, ensuring that the wisdom of our forebears is passed down to the youth. The stories told by grandparents to their grandchildren are like seeds planted in fertile soil, nurturing a sense of identity and pride. When a child hears the tale of the Luska, they not only learn about a mythical creature, but also about the importance of respecting the sea and its mysteries. This passing of knowledge fosters a deep connection to the land and its culture, nurturing roots that grow strong and deep. The emotional weight of these myths is palpable. Each story carries the echoes of laughter, tears, and life lessons learned through the ages. People gather around fires, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames, as they share these tales, feeling a sense of community and warmth. In these moments, the barriers of time and space dissolve, and everyone is transported to a place where magic exists. The legends come alive, breathing with the passion of those who tell them. Yet, the beauty of these stories lies not only in their past, but in their ability to adapt and thrive in modern times. As the world changes, so do the myths. They evolve to meet the needs of new generations while retaining their core messages. This adaptability is a testament to the strength of these narratives, showing that they can continue to inspire and guide us in an ever-changing world. The stories may take on new forms, an artist's brushstroke, a writer's pen, or a filmmaker's lens, but their essence remains unchanged. As we look to the future, it becomes clear that the preservation of these myths is crucial. In a time when technology dominates and distractions abound, the simple act of storytelling becomes a radical way to connect with one another. It is through these shared narratives that we find common ground, creating bonds that transcend differences. By nurturing and celebrating our myths, we keep the spirit of our cultures alive, allowing them to flourish and inspire future generations. The impact of myths goes beyond individual cultures; they create a sense of shared humanity. As we hear stories from different parts of the world, we recognize the universal themes that bind us all. The same struggles, joys, and fears are expressed in myriad ways, reflecting our collective human experience. This realization is both humbling and uplifting, reminding us that while we may come from different backgrounds, we all seek connection, understanding, and meaning. In moments of darkness, myths provide light. They offer comfort during hard times, reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles. The stories of mythical creatures battling against the odds serve as symbols of hope and resilience. They inspire us to face our own challenges with bravery and determination. Just as heroes of the past overcame their fears, we too can find the strength within us to rise above adversity. Moreover, the exploration of myths is not merely an academic pursuit, it is a deeply personal journey. Each person's relationship with these stories is unique, shaped by their experiences and emotions. The process of discovering and retelling these myths allows us to connect with our own feelings, sparking reflection and growth. It encourages us to ask questions about our place in the world, our values, and our beliefs. Every time we share a story, we are engaging in an act of love. We are saying, "This matters. You matter." The act of storytelling reinforces the bonds of community, reminding us that we are all part of a larger tapestry. Each thread represents a voice, a life lived, and a story worth telling. This sense of belonging is vital for our emotional well-being. In this age of rapid change, the challenge lies in ensuring that these myths are not lost to time. We must honor the voices of our ancestors while also embracing the creativity of the present. It is a delicate balance, one that requires intention and care. By celebrating our folklore and integrating it into our modern lives, we create a vibrant cultural landscape where past and present coexist harmoniously. The power of myth is a gift that keeps giving. It invites us to dream, to wonder, and to connect with one another on a deeper level. It reminds us that while life may be filled with uncertainty, the stories we tell can offer guidance and wisdom. They can spark our imaginations and ignite our passions, fueling our desire to create, to share, and to love. As we look forward, we must carry these stories in our hearts, allowing them to guide our paths. We must share them with our children, our friends, and our communities. In doing so, we ensure that the legacy of our myths lives on, transforming lives and illuminating the world for generations to come. Each time we share a myth, we are not just preserving a story, we are breathing life into our culture and honoring the journeys of those who came before us. In this beautiful dance of history and humanity, myths remain a beacon of hope, love, and connection. They remind us that while we may be just one voice in a sea of stories, together, we create a chorus that can resonate through time. The heartbeat of our culture lives on in these tales, and as long as we keep telling them, we are never truly alone.